heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Hallelujah. Abba Yahweh, we stand before you this day to continually give you praise. Abba Yahweh, we ask that you continually dwell in our vessels, continually be in our minds, continually lead us, guide us in the right direction each and every day of our lives. We continually also to ask, plead forgiveness for all things that we may have done in our lifetime that may have angered you. We plead with you, Abba Yahweh, to forgive us and to help us to get on the right path and to continue on that path and not stray. Continually seek you out and not seek out the things of this world. You, Yahweh, we continually even set our minds towards the heavenly things that you have promised us. We set our minds on you and your son, Yahshua HaMashiach, to follow in his footsteps, to do the will of Abba Yahweh all the days of our lives. Yahweh, this day we ask even those that may be sick, those that may be in distress, those that may need your help. Abba Yahweh, we ask of you this day to please heal your people. Please comfort your people in their day of need. Yahweh, continually even look on those that are less fortunate, those that on the streets, continually look over them, provide for them. Provide for them shelter from all the things, the elements, the cold weather that come upon each and every day. Yahweh, we told you for all the things that you have done for us throughout our lifetime to provide for us the things that we need to survive in this lifetime. And Yahweh, continually just show us your wonderful ways. Continually show us your Torah, the wonderful word that you have placed in front of us. Yahweh, instill all your ways into us. Yahweh, help us to live this way out. Not just talk, but to live it out in such a way that you will be pleased with us at the end of our days. And we may be able to see salvation. See all the things that you have promised us. The rewards that are waiting for your chosen people. Yahweh, torment those that don't want to follow in your ways. Torment those that hate you and your people. Night and day, each and every day of their lives, every day that they seek out to want to destroy your people, Yahweh, give it right back to them. Show them that they will not be victorious as long as they walk in their ways. But show your people that as long as they stay in your ways, that they will be victorious and they will see your face in peace. In Yahshua HaMashiach's name we pray. Hallelujah. House of Israel, you may be seated. I say Shabbat Shalom once again to the House of Israel. And I say Shabbat Shalom all that are tuning in on the live stream. Today I want to read from the book of Tehillim. This is Psalm 65. And it says, praise awaits you, O Yahweh, in Zion. To you our vows will be fulfilled. When we were overwhelmed by sin, you forgave our transgressions. Baruch are those you choose and bring near to live in your courts. We are filled with the tub things of your house, of your Kodesh temple. You answer us with awesome deeds of righteousness. O Yahweh, our Savior, the hope of all the ends of the earth and of the farthest seas, who formed the mountains by your power, having armed yourself with strength, who stilled the roaring of the seas, the roaring of their waves, and the turmoil of the nations. Those living far away fear your wonders. Where morning dawns and evening fades, you call forth songs of joy. You care for the land and water it. You enrich it abundantly. The streams of Yahweh are filled with water to provide the people with grain. For so you have ordained it. You drenched its furrows and leveled its ridges. You softened it with showers and brewed its crops. You crown the year with your bounty, and your carts overflow with abundance. The grasslands of the wilderness overflow. The hills are clothed with gladness. The meadows are covered with flocks, and the valleys are mantled with grain. They shout for joy and sing, Hallelujah. So, Israel, we have to continually just notice all the things that Yahweh has done. Look and see in this world the wonders that he has done in this world. All the things that he has brought about in this world, and especially for his people. Don't we all agree that Yahweh has done tough things for us all? All the things that we look at into the world might look like it's turmoil, chaos, but Yahweh always gives his people comfort. Now, if we see that in this lifetime, just imagine what he has waiting for you and his kingdom. See that he takes care of you in this lifetime, even in all the chaos. Just know that if you continue in this way, you will see better days, Israel. Hallelujah. And at this time, I'll turn the service over to Zarkane Dawid Yaginhanan Senior. We want to receive him by saying the highest form of praise by saying Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom, House of Yisrael. We do truly total Abba Yahweh for the precious gift of life, for the beauty of this day that Abba Yahweh has made. May he continue to grant unto the children of Israel the perfection of his Kodesh ways, that we may be able to continue to safely walk before him. We told Yah for that, and I do say that with utmost dignity and honor in being the children of Yisrael. We told Yah for that. We are a people that have been scattered throughout the face of this entire earth because of our transgressions against the Torah of Abba Yahweh. But as we view the world and the lessons that we live out daily, we sometimes learn that we're not learning the depth of the lessons that Abba Yahweh would have us as a people to learn. We are a people that in the latter days, we seek out the convenience of this world and the conveniences of this lifetime. And in the process of seeking out the conveniences of this world and of this lifetime, we tend to forsake the value of the lessons that Abba Yahweh would have us to truly learn, that we might truly become the people that he is calling for. I want that point to sink in. One thing we don't want to do, as a brother said many years ago, and it is true, you don't just want to be a 1 day a week Israelite. You don't want to just serve Yahweh on Shabbat because you have so much to do, so much to learn, so much to know and understand that the Torah within and of itself is a book that requires practical application. I want to say that real slow because there's more to this than just fooling ourselves by saying that we are the children of Yisrael, but yet we do the works of the children of Shaitan. We don't want to do that. And no matter how much the messengers of Abba Yahweh warn us, somewhere along the line, it's no longer on the messengers who are sounding the alarm. It is on the ears of Yisrael. It is on the heads. It is on the souls. It is on the backs of us as the people of Yahweh to take heed. That's what the word of Abba Yah says. He says unto Israel to beware. He says, pay attention to what you do. Take heed to yourselves. He uses that word in the construct of Israel, understanding that when he says you take heed, you guard this. You protect this, Totally different. You protect this way of life. Above all, I was showing some young men just about a week ago the beauty of how Yisrael encamped round about the tabernacle. And they encamped around the tabernacle in efforts to know and to show and to understand that if Yahweh dwelled in the midst of them, though Abba Yah needs no security team or no security force, you guard him. You protect the sanctity of Abba Yahweh through your strict obedience unto him. I want you to hear what I'm saying. Because Yahweh is not to be desecrated among all the nations. He is not to be despised. He is a great king. And he is going to get that honor that is due unto his name, with or without us, with or without me, with or without you. He's going to get that great honor unto his name. So just as a man with a gold piece of jewelry or whatever the case may be, he guards that, he protects that. He doesn't just leave that laying out anywhere so that anyone can touch it, can take it, and can defile it, because it hasn't been given to everyone. It's been given to him. Am I correct? So then in the same manner that Yahweh, he has not dealt with any other nation on the face of the earth the way that he has dealt with the children of Israel, which therefore means the way of life that he grants unto Israel. We must guard this. You must protect it. You must live it out. This is far beyond just the mere doctrines and standards of Christianity. Almost anything goes. I'll tell you right now, you can take a pen and just write on the wall. You can make up a value system and go to 10, 12 different churches over the course of whatever time it takes you to study them. And I guarantee you, everything that you made up and wrote on the wall, somewhere along the line, one of the churches will go along with that. They'll have that as a standard, as a tenet, as an operative process. But that's not so with Abba Yahweh. We have rules, we have standards that we must uphold. I made up my mind a long time ago that I don't care about people's feelings. And I've learned that over. I don't care about what you think of me. And I don't care how you feel or react to the word of Yahweh. If Yahweh said it and he put it in the mouths of his messengers, that we even sometimes have to take a beating for simply speaking the truth, then we have to learn that it is better to obey Yahweh than to obey men. And this is what people hate. This is why you can speak the truth with the boldness and the power of Yahshua and not worry about consequences and repercussions of what man will do unto you. Come on now, we can't do that. So we have to live this out. And I'm going to tell you right now that the biggest of your enemies will come from among yourselves. Let me say that one slow. We're going to do things. I'll bring it back up. I'm going to say something to you all. I'm going to bring this back up now. I'm going to tell you. We cannot be Israelites of convenience. Listen, I'm going to do this. I want to talk to us. This is an old scriptural lesson. I'm pulling these notes from a scripture lesson. Just one lesson that Elder Johnson taught well over 30 years ago. I'm pulling all the notes from that, and I'm going to teach on it. I've been going over this for a moment now. I've been looking at it. I can't do it like he did it now because we're commanded to come up higher, come up hither. And all the notes of this, as I looked at the notes lead into other notes, and the notes lead into other notes, which in other words are more scriptures upon top of scriptures, verifying, substantiating, and building upon something, so that I know I won't finish this today. It's 11:40 a.m. here in the East Coast. I know I won't finish this today, so I'm not even going to worry about finishing. I'm not even going to rush. I'm not even going to try. This is a message that's going to turn into a series, because that's just how intense the notes are that the old man was trying to convey with the language and the understanding that Abba Yahweh had given unto him in the messengers of that time frame. Am I making myself clear? I talked with a mother in Yisrael earlier in the week, and the conversation was so beautiful. It took me back, as the old folks would say, down memory lane, as we began to reflect how beautifully our fathers walked together in Abba Yahweh. I don't remember a single argument, a dispute, a debate, a battle, or anything of that nature. There were no egos where one was bigger than the other. One argued over who had the biggest piece of chicken on the plate or things. I don't remember any of that. And I was right there. And we talked about the beauty of how they labored in the word of Yahweh. And as I look in the Torah of Yah, in the lost books or the suppressed books, we start to see the mannerisms of our fathers in the mannerisms of the messengers of Abba Yahweh to this day. Because it is that very same Ruach that Abba Yah grants unto Yisrael to be circumspect. We are commanded to do that. You can't just be circumspect because you spend 3 hours out of your Shabbat with Abba Yahweh. I'm gonna get into that a little more. But we want to fully understand the work as well as the sacrifice that must go into being obedient unto Abba Yahweh. It is a sacrifice. And people are going to have to understand that we are Israelites in convenience, but we're not Israelites in all practicality. And so for that cause, you have to stop. I was telling Brethren years ago, I said, my friend, we're going to learn something. This is when I was out as an activist, and I would go community meetings in different places, City Hall, Governor's Man, wherever there was a major meeting. If I get a chance to speak, I would speak on the Torah, God's word, and the need to implement it in our lives. Whether people would hear it or forbear it, I would go. But one of the things that I would tell the men that would travel with me was that when we learn these things and we understand that it is the essence of life and it is the Toraic value of truth, I was explaining how you cannot be taken aback or put off because you have to go over some things again. Sometimes you have to go over a thing and then go over it again and then go over it again and possibly go over something again and again so that the people might receive it and be able to grab hold of the message, comprehend it, and to enforce it in their lives. So it's no great deal if you have to repeat a thing. But what you do not want to do and or have a messenger do is continuously repeat a message that just falls on deaf ears. You don't want a messenger to continuously repeat a message that we're just not heeding because we think ourselves above the ones that Yahweh commands to deliver the word, so that we think ourselves to be on the same level with them. I'm going to show you how we're not on the level of the messengers of Abba Yahweh, though they may live right next door to us. We need to understand that we ourselves can be happy on whatever level it is that Abba Yahweh calls us upon, because things could always be worse. But when we don't know how to apply the Torah of truth, and I see this from Yisrael a lot. We don't know how to apply the Torah of truth because we simply really just will not shut up. We're yapping, we're talking, we're plotting, we're planning. We do that so much that we forbid, I'm going to say this one real slow, we forbid the Ruach to come within us. We forbid the spirit of Abba Yahweh from properly dwelling in us. We do that. We prohibit the spirit of Yahweh. Are you listening, Israel? We prohibit that because of the dissembling of ourselves as the people of Yahweh. The people murmured against Abba Yahweh. They murmured against Moshe, and they did it in such a way that they forgot that Yahweh heard it. Yeshaya the prophet, in the ascension of Yeshua, writes of the fact that in the vision of being taken into the Shemaims, in the seventh, in the highest of the high, he realized that there was so many sounds to be heard that he realized that there was not a word uttered in all the universe that was not heard up there by Abba Yahweh. So who then do we really think that we're fooling? Or should I rephrase the question? Who then do we forget that we're fooling when we murmur against Abba Yahweh? You see, we forget. We're not fooling him because he hears. He that formed the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eye, shall he not see? So who then do we forget that we're fooling if we're not forgetting that we're only fooling ourselves? Come on, Yisrael. Let's talk about power with Yahweh. The series. I'm going to talk to you about power with Yahweh. We don't even believe today. This is why a lot of times we can't be healed of social condition, spiritual things that ail us. And this is why a lot of times we cannot be healed because we don't even recognize that we have power with Abba Yahweh. But we only have that power when we obey. And this is what people don't want to hear. Everybody just wants to, they know Yahweh. Come on, man. That's all we know as a people. You greet people in the proverbial sense of, hi, how you doing? I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. I'm blessed by the best. Be quiet. When you start breaking down what that means, I'm going to show you what our father Yahweh did. You want to say you're blessed by the best? Come on, that man had to wrestle. We ain't no wrestlers today. We're armchair quarterbacks. And that's what we do as a people. We talk entirely too damn much. I want to use that word in the proper context because that's what it will bring upon us. It'll bring upon us damn. You hear what I'm saying? Let's do this. Let's go to the book of Bereshit. Let's go to the beginning, the Genesis. Let's go to the beginning. We don't understand nothing of what we're dealing with today as a people of Abba Yahweh if we don't look at what was set forth in the beginning. And most of us don't understand. We don't worry about the beginning. We're always rushing, trying to get to the end of a thing. That's how we do. What time service over? That's what the brother called me and asked me earlier in the week. Well, bro, what time your service over? I said, what time you getting there? He says, no, you didn't understand. I said, I understood it perfectly well. I'm going to ask you again, what time you getting there? We have the people, we have to learn how to really seek out Abba Yahweh. You know, we put everything before Yahweh. You remember what time service over with? What time is the service over? What time are you going to start reading the book? What time are you going to start living by what's in the book? What time are you going to start seeking Abba Yahweh with sincerity and truth? Come on, man. The churches are lying and playing so many games now. Everybody's in on every little thing. If there's a hustle, if there's a con, if there's a scam, whatever it is, everybody's in on something like that. But when it comes to the righteousness of Abba Yahweh, it will separate you from the world. And most people don't want to be separated from the world. They want to look exactly like the world because people don't want the shame of being diverse from all other people. If you're Yahweh's people, you're going to be different than the world. I don't care what the world says or what they think. You're going to be different. And you don't have to do anything to mark yourself or make yourself different and stand out from the world. You don't have to do anything like that. The Ruach of Yah, the Spirit of Yahweh, will be upon you in a way that's going to make you different than the world. Our people might not want to face that. They might not want to acknowledge that. But again, that's the flesh. That's the weakness of the flesh. We worry about how we look, man. Our father, Yaakov, had a dispute. Yaakov wasn't always a perfect man in Yisrael. Yaakov was a man like you and I. Yaakov had a mind to do certain things because he was born under the name of a specific title that caused him to do certain things. That name Yaakov, it meant supplanter. He was the heel catcher, and it was his job, it was his duty to supplant his brother, to catch his brother by the heel, and to overtake him. It was his duty. But what you must understand is Abba Yah allows certain spiritual conditions to reside upon the man in a way that in order to be perfected, he had to first be imperfect, that he might overcome, to become Yisrael. Am I making sense? The man had to wrestle. But if we don't even understand who he was wrestling with, we don't even understand why he had to be disabled in order to come. I'm going to tell you that Yisrael has more power of Yahweh than they even understand, man. I'm going to tell you something about life. Now, you watch this. Men and women, both equal in this realm. A man can have a woman that loves him so much so that he can maneuver in a way that he can literally tug at her heartstrings. And she'll do anything for him, even to the point and a degree where he can be dead wrong. But in her eyes, He can do no wrong. A woman can have a man and tug at his heartstrings in such a way that she can do so many things that can do no wrong. Come on, who was that? Was that Percy Sledge sang about that? When a man loves a woman, I can't even remember the word. That's good. Told y'all. I don't need to remember the word, but you all know what I'm talking about. Can't keep his mind on nothing else. Look, somebody shouted it out for me. Okay, I heard that. But when we have a specific or a specified relationship, and I want to make this clear, Yahweh is no fool. Yisrael tugs at the heartstrings of Abba Yahweh in a way where Yahweh said he was a man after his own heart. You hear what I'm saying to you? The man strived with Abba Yahweh in a way where he tried to do right so that he could win the heart of Yahweh. He said, this man is after my heart. This is a man after my heart. And as he goes after my heart, he does not know that he is one thinking like I would be thinking. He is a man after my own heart. Come on, Yisrael. Yeah. We do not pay attention to this book they call the Bible. There is so much power in this book to change our lives around and to change them in a way that changes them for the better. See, change is disruptive. This is what we don't understand as a people. Change is going to disrupt. Even if change is something that's good for you, at the moment it happens, it disrupts what you were accustomed to. And then until you get accustomed to the change and you begin to realize this works out for the better. But all before, we were resistant to the change. We don't understand the power of this book. I was thinking on something in the world the other day. Can you imagine all the people that have ever had jobs in the printing industry, that have printed up scriptures, the Bible, what have you, that have never read it, but have gone to factories every day of their lives, 8 hours a day for whatever number of years, printed these books up, the power of the word of Yahweh within it, and they've never read it themselves. They've never understood it. They've never applied it. Can you imagine how many people that could be that can lose out on the greatness of what is in the book? Can you understand the dynamic of the people who cannot read the book today and see the book through the eyes of the ones who wrote it and understood the dynamic magnitude of the relationship that they had with Yahweh? Come on, Yisrael. Can you imagine having so much power with Yahweh that you can tug at his heartstrings while you are yet alive? And as it is time for you to die, you said, not me. I'm not dying just yet. Wait a minute. And you can't die because you have that kind of power with Yahweh. Come on, Yisrael. We don't know Yahweh. We say that we know Yahweh. We don't know Yahweh. When the messenger came to get Father Abraham, Abraham wasn't giving up his life. Hey, who are you? He says, if I tell you, you won't believe me. So you've come to me. You know, I ain't getting ahead of myself. Look at y'all. Y'all eyes big as silver dollars. Y'all want to hear that part? No. Getting ahead of myself. See, you all want the championship belt for the wrestling match without even getting in the ring. No, you're going to get in the ring today. You're going to wrestle today. You're going to learn the value of what your fathers went through, man. See, a lot of times in life, they're mad. They're not speaking to each other. There is no greater story in all the scriptures about family dysfunction than the story of Jacob and Esau. There's no greater story about family dysfunction than that. Because one was going to kill the other. He wasn't playing with him. Truth be told, he didn't even have respect for his daddy. When you think about it, he says, all right, I'm going to wait till the old man's dead. So when he dead, I'm going to kill him. Now that's serious. That's a malfunction. That's a dysfunctional family beyond recognition. That same spirit went down through the Zerah, or the seed of Israel. That same spirit followed the house of King David. That same spirit dwells among us as the children of Israel today. You hear what I'm saying? It dwells among us today. And then we want to tell the world, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. We don't even have power with you. Truth be told, we don't even have power to curse a cat. Think about it. Black cat run across the way. You get scared, you go the other way. You don't even have power over that. But yet we say, we're Yisrael. Come on, man. We just want to show off because, again, we're Israelites in convenience. But when it's time to be Israelites in practicality, listen. We fail. We fail. I remember one time I failed my father in something as a young man. I could never describe the feeling of having failed him. And I failed him because out of all that the old man taught, it was so deep and it was so profound that when I got about 17 or 18 years of age and I began to really look at the world and see my friends and all, they seemed to be prosperous in the world. They were clubbing on Friday night. They did everything that they could do on Friday night. I listened to a man on the job yesterday. We were leaving and packing up. We were getting ready to go. He says, well, I'll see you Monday, man. He says, Friday, man. You know how we do. It's Friday night. And I hadn't thought about that in many years. I didn't say a thing in the world to him. I just listened. He said, it's Friday night. You know how we do. I remember years ago, that's how I wanted to be. I wanted to see what they did on Friday night because I didn't know. I wasn't accustomed to it. Every Friday night, we were in the temple. We were there on the Shabbat. We were there. But as I began to stray and to go away and to get out in the streets and hang out with my friends, sometimes the assemblies of Yahweh, you can have packed house. Sometimes you can have 2, 3 people. It's just that way. That's the way it goes. And I said that I failed my father because in hanging out in the street, I remember my sister telling me a story about how daddy would preach. She said, he preached last night as if it was 300 people there. She said, wasn't nobody there but me, one brother, and grandma. That's what she said. My father had his mother there, his daughter, and one other brother. And he preached. I sat at my desk on last evening and I began to weep just a little bit. I caught myself, I began to cry. As I watched Minister Dawid labor here last night, and I said, that's interesting. I said to myself on last eve, I said, he has the honor or the dishonor, however we choose to look at it. He has the pleasure or the displeasure to do something that I've never had the chance to experience. He got a chance on last evening to do what his grandfather did, to walk in his grandfather's shoes. Because on last evening, he preached to the family of Yisrael that tuned in by way of the live stream. But he preached to one brother, his mother, and his daughter. And I wondered what that felt like as I tried to put myself in his shoes and in my father's shoes. To look at the assembly and see the body of Yisrael. I remember there were times, man, listen, we won't do it now. When it snows and the weather's inclement, I always text or call you all. I call the service office. I know that we as a generation of people, we get weaker as the generations go by. You don't need to stand and claiming this strength. No, we don't. We don't. There were times we had 6, 7, 8 inches of snow. People could drive in Maryland 30, 40 years ago. People could drive. The snow meant nothing to them. They knew how to drive, handle the vehicle. Today, you get 4 snowflakes and they shut the state down. This is just how it goes. They shut it down. But if you watch the people that rule the world, they learn how to do things even in bad weather. They don't let stuff function. They don't let nothing stop their functionality. We're the one we shut down. 4 raindrops. Oh, I'm done. It wet my wig. Oh, man, I got a drop on my shoe. Oh, leather going crack. That's how we live, man. You all know that. This is true. This is how we live. Brother Johnson, we come from Bible study one night. There was a hill we had to turn to go down to our house, man. We dropped this big LTD Landau. It was big as the Titanic to me. And he made the right turn. And the car spun completely. Did a 360 in the middle of the street. He didn't hit a thing. Did a complete 360 and kept going. He never lost his composure. He just kept on driving. I was in the front seat with him. I just looked. I was thinking to myself, that was smooth. I grew up years later and I got on the Beltway, exit 15A. If those of you that are familiar with that's how 40 East, 15A, getting on the Beltway. My car did the same thing. My issue, I said, you better stop playing. I never lost my composure, kept driving. I just said, I wasn't playing. Kept driving. Sometimes you go through the same things that people have gone through to experience what it's like to go through that. I'm going to tell you, Yisrael, we as the people of Yahweh, we don't pay attention to what we have because sometimes we just don't appreciate it. I have prayed and asked Abba Yahweh to barak us in ways so that we're able to do things for others above and beyond what we have been doing here. And Yahweh has granted us the permission to do that. So I told Yah for that because I don't take the people of Yahweh and the work of Yahweh. I don't take it lightly. I put my heart and my soul into that. I teach the messenger, the deacon, to pour their heart and soul into the house of Abba Yahweh. I teach them that you put your all in all into it. The Torah of Yah teaches us that if a man knows not how to take care and provide for his own house, how can he take care of and provide for the house of Yahweh? In my mind's eye, I've learned over the years that I put the house of Abba Yahweh first. I'm going to tell y'all a story about putting the house first now. I'm going to tell you all an embarrassing story, but yet it's no embarrassment at all because it was the blessing of Abba Yahweh to bring me to the level of faith that I have to come to understand. It puts me in a position where I cannot even brag or boast about the faith, but I have to rebuke and chastise us because we all should be coming to that same level of faith. So that we should be understanding the dynamic of what we read. Let's talk about a man with some faith. Let's talk about a man living in fear. Let's talk about a man that was rough and tough enough to wrestle all night long because when he realized something, he wasn't giving up. Today, we give up too quick before we even start. It's what we do as a people. We will learn, we'll live in the street all the days of our life. We'll come to the knowledge, hey, what? We the children of Israel? Oh, man, damn. That's cool. Yeah, that's how we say it. Damn, that's cool. And then we don't even change from the way we lived to the moment of that newfound knowledge. If you acknowledge and can remember the very moment you come to the understanding of the sacred name of Yahweh, of the Torah, of who you are, of why we're to live by this, that's a beautiful feeling. You remember your first encounter with Yahweh when you learned that or you heard the word and it burned in such a way where you knew it was the truth of the book? You remember that moment, do you? Now tell me about the moment you were first born. You can't remember that one. Clear your minds, Yisrael. Everybody ready? Just clear your mind. You at the view by way of the live stream, clear your mind. Let's get into something here. Picture, if you will, however you visualize, Abba Yahweh creating Father Adam, this lifeless vessel just laying there. It has no momentum. It has no mission. It has no job. It has no need for food or anything. It's just a vessel created in his image. And then at the precise moment, Abba Yahweh places his Ruach into that vessel. And he awakens. And he comes to the self-actualization of nothing. Because he can't say, I'm a man. He can't say, you just made me. Because Abba Yahweh had to introduce himself to his creation. He had to put into his creation an understanding because he has no memory of nothing prior to the first breath and his encounter with Abba Yahweh. You tell me that's not beautiful? Come on, Yisrael. See, we don't think on that scale with Abba Yahweh. We don't remember things like that because now we don't go to the Bereshit. We don't go to the beginning that we might understand the end. We don't realize that Adam had to be instructed by Abba Yahweh. People say, leave religion out of it. Okay, there's Yahweh and there is his creation. And he introduced himself to his creation. Where's religion in that? Where are the songbooks? Where are the benches? Where's the deacon? Where's the offering basket? Where are the robes? There's no religion in that. This was the creator and his created being. I am Yahweh. That is my name. You cannot even tell people of the world today about Yahweh because the first thing comes out of their mouth, well, keep religion out of it. I said, good. Burn the damn church down and you'll do well. Keep religion out of it. I'll try to keep my voice. I don't want to frighten the baby. Have mercy on me, little one. I can only imagine the fright of when we really meet up with Abba Yahweh, how he spoke to Yisrael. I might as well tell it. It came out. I was living in Edmondson Village many years ago. I was going through some trials and major tribulations in my life, and I was thinking that these were earth-shattering tribulations that I wouldn't be able to recover from. And I was laying in the bed one night. Deacon, do me a favor. You come here. I want you to take this camera, magnify, come as close up on my face as you can. I want people at home to see this. So I was laying in my bed on my back, and I was just breathing in agony, but yet I was prayerful, and I was rejoicing in Abba Yahweh. And there was this face, just a giant face. It pushed through the ceiling. The ceiling never moved. It never fell. It was like a face that just pushed through the ceiling. And it looked down on me. And then it backed away. Almost as if I got a half approving smile. I'm done. And it was from that precise moment forward that I really began to pray that, Abba Yahweh, whatever it is that you would have me do, grant me the power and the ability to do that. Because I couldn't do it on my own. This face, this imagery that I saw, this face that came through the ceiling, it was bigger than a Ford, the big vans. It was just an enormous face. And as it gave me that half smile of approval and just faded away, I never moved. To this day, I cannot describe to you what I felt, what I understood, or anything of that nature. I had a level of fear upon me, but it wasn't a fear that made me just go out of my mind. But I also knew that it wasn't to be played with. I wasn't smoking, I wasn't drinking, because I'm a person that have never did any smoking or drinking in my life. So nobody can tell me I was hallucinating. I was never that. And to look and realize that to barely get a smile out of whatever the imagery was enough to convince me you better one day be able to get a complete smile out of the face of Abba Yahweh. Now let's get into what our Father did, because sometimes Yah is in the presence of Yisrael. We don't even realize it. When Yaakov realized who was in the presence of himself and he began to wrestle, I'm not letting you go. He said he wouldn't let go because he had power. Can you imagine that? You're wrestling with something that you don't even know what you're wrestling with. You're wrestling with something that exists, something that has existed, something that existed before you existed, something that always has, and it's there, and you have the audacity to wrestle with it because you realize what you've come across. Y'all all right? Come on, Yisrael, let's get into the book. The book of Genesis, chapter 32. Jacob had gotten the blessing. He got what he needed. He had used subtlety. He deceived his brother. He did all that. Yahweh was in on the whole plan. Let's be clear. It was Abba Yahweh's will that it go the way that it go. I'm not saying Yahweh sanctioned evil that it might go that way, but that a man who was of Yahweh learned of righteousness. He had to do it the way that Yahweh commanded that it be done in order to be receiving the correction that he should receive. See, he didn't just come out and be born, just pop out the womb. Hey, I'm Jacob. I'm going to have 12 sons. I'm going to be a righteous man. They're going to all be right. He had to earn it. So Jacob was afraid when he was trying to make amends with his brother now. If any of you know anything about being the youngest child, you know what it's like. Genesis 32:7. I want you to hear this. Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and the herds and the camels into two bands. And he said, if Yisrael come to one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. Can you imagine that? You fleeing with your family? Think about that. You got to split your family up. So now, I know he mad with me. He going to kill me, man. He ain't going to play me. Look, y'all do this. Split up. We're going this way. We're going that way. If you come across one, he might kill you. And then the other, at least some of y'all get away. That would be, that's some harsh news to even have to tell people. Because everybody's in the company of thinking, I hope we get away. While also thinking, I hope everybody get away. While also not even being able to fathom what would happen if one company was to be killed. That's a hard thought to deal with. You hear me, Yisrael? And Jacob said, oh my Yahweh Elohim, my father of Abraham, the Elohim of my father Isaac, Yahweh, which said unto me, return unto your country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. Now, you see, this is a man that said, I'm doing what you said. You told me return home. I'm going to deal well with you. Yahweh, I'm afraid of my big brother. But you said you're going to deal well with me. I'm trusting. I am not worthy of the least of all the hasid, all the mercies now, of all the truth which thou hast showed unto your servant. For with my staff I have passed over this Jordan, and now I am become two bands. He says, I did this now with my staff. If we look at the staff in the Hebraic alphabet, you understand that the staff now has a standard for the lamb, or the curvature that's used to grab the little lambs by the neck. Once you hear this, you put that out there, you grab by the neck, you bring them back in. So now this staff also stands for the power of the shepherd. Yeshua, he is the shepherd. He is the lamb. I want you to hear this now. Because see, the English language takes the definitive of this away. So then it reduces our understanding to its lowest common denominator. So we're not looking now at what is helping Yaakov. So he says, with my staff, I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become two bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Yisrael. For I fear him, lest he come and smite me and the mother with the children. You hear that? And a man really realizing now, as tough as you might be, you don't want no man to slay the mother and the children now. Come on, you wouldn't want that, would you, dear brothers? So now, in a moment of self-actualization, he has to humble himself before Yahweh. And before, he hasn't even met up with his brother now. He's humbling himself before Abba Yahweh. And he reminds Yahweh of his word to him, his testimony. He says, and thou saidst, I will surely do thee tough, or do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. Now see, that's interesting, that you going somewhere, you trust in Yahweh, you praying, you having a conversation with Yahweh, reminding Yahweh what he said to you. In other words, don't go back on your word now. Remember now, you said you're going to bless me, you're going to do good by me. Right? And he lodged there at the same night, and took of that which came to his hand, a present for his brother Yisrael. Now notice, he gathered up some wealth. Now he had some stuff. And he took those things, all that he had acquired. So let me give some of this to my brother. I got to send him a gift. Sometimes a gift does make a person forget that. Not in the context of bribing. Understand, the scripture says that the bribe blindeth the eyes of the just. That's why every time people give me things and donations and things like that, I learned you use it for just what they say. For the furthering, for the development, and for the benefit of Abba Yahweh and his people. This is what you have to learn to do. You hear me, Yisrael? Come on. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand, a present for Yisrael. Listen to what he sent them now. 200 she-goats, and 20 he-goats. 200 ewes, or these are the baby lambs, and 20 rams. You hear me? 30 milk camels, with their colts. 40 kine, these are the cows now, 10 bulls, 20 she-asses, and 10 foals. And he divided them into the hands of his servants, every drove by themselves. In other words, now, every drove by themselves means you divide these things up in droves. I want the camels in droves. I want the ewes in droves. I want the rams in droves. Okay? So he divided these things up in droves, or in groups, so that they could travel the way that he commanded that they travel, for a reason. Okay? And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves. And he said unto his servants, pass over before me. In other words, you go before me. And put a space between drove and drove. In other words, put some space so everybody can see where they travel. If you stop, we know to stop, the whole 9 yards, right? And he commanded the foremost, saying, when you saw my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, whose art thou? Who art thou? And whither thou goest? And whose art these before thee? Thou shalt say, they be the servants Yaakov. They be thy servant Yaakov. It is a present sent unto my sovereign, unto you, Esau. Behold, also, he is behind us. Let them know, send him the gifts first. When he see all this, he don't sending me all this. I'm still going to kick his butt when I see him. But look at he sent me all this. You hear? He knew how to work the man's mind. And he commanded the foremost, saying, I went to them, sorry. Verse 18. Then thou shalt say, they be thy servant Yaakov. It is a present sent unto Yisrael. And behold, he also is behind us. And so command he the second and the third, and all that follow the drove, saying, on this manner you shall speak to Yisrael when you find him. And say ye moreover, behold, thy servant Yaakov is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the presence that goeth before me. And afterward I will see his face. Perhaps he will accept me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. Now he kept his family, his women and children, he kept them with him. He stayed behind. We're going to sleep here tonight. See, we don't even know anything about travel, truth be told. Think about that. Now, you got to travel, you got to unroll, you got to pitch your little tent for the night, you got to unroll your little bed, you rest up. We don't know about things like that. We know about the modern world today. We know about the mortgage. We know about the new flooring. We know about the new picket fence. We know all the inconveniences and things that get our mind off of Abba Yahweh while thinking that we did these things ourselves. No, no. And just think, Israel, we haven't even gotten to the power with Yahweh yet. You're still dealing in the earthly sense, brother to brother. Y'all all right? And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons, and he passed over the ford Yabak. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And all that he had, he sent it over. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. You hear that? He wrestled. Now I'm going to switch Torahs for a moment. I'm going to the scriptures. I want to highlight something. You have to respect what the brethren in Yeshua did with the way that they tried to translate and put things back into place. Those of us that read King James, we have a lot of times and or tendencies to put all our trust in whatever version that we read. I don't put all my trust in one version. People ask me all the time, what book are you preaching from? What version? And I tell people the same thing all the time. Listen, I have 27 different Bibles. And I look in different ones for different things. And I look back at those Hebraic words. I'm talking ancient Hebrew. I'm trying to look at that as best I can. I ain't talking about this rubbish that they speak today, that they call Yiddish. It's rubbish, okay? They have infused a little bit of Latin, a little bit of Greek, a little bit of Russian. There are 2 other languages. They've infused all that in it. And then they say, yeah, we speak Hebrew. They don't, okay? So stop getting your hopes up on them and pinned up on them. The language that Abba Yah wants Israel to speak at the appointed time, he will restore the language unto them, okay? Let me get back into this. This is 32:22. I want to get into the context of what they did because they brought out some very beautiful points that can be highlighted. Hear me well. And Jacob was left alone. And a man, now in this version of the book, every time they say, and a man, they capitalize it. Every time they address the imagery of this man, whether in he or his, they capitalize it. I want you to understand. They did that for a reason because they note the speciality of the man or the specialty of the man. Am I making sense? And Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. And Ish. And when he saw that he did not overcome him, he touched the socket of his hip. And the socket of Jacob's hip was dislocated as he wrestled with him. Now that's powerful, man. Just grab you by your thigh, snatch it out of joint. That's some power, okay? Can you imagine that? Come on, man. Anybody in here ever had any an elbow or shoulder come out of joint? It's a painful thing. If you ever had something come out of joint, one thing about it, once it come out from time to time, periodically throughout life, guess what? It'll go out. Pay attention. And in this society, you hear about that a lot because these societies today, we have more back problems and leg problems and things of that nature. And it's all based on concrete. Let's just be clear on that. You're walking on something that Yahweh didn't even intend to be for you. It's concrete. Concrete, a lifetime of concrete damages and tears up all the cartilage in your body. It will do all that. It destroys that sinew, the connection, the little shock absorber between bone and bone. It destroys all that. They come back, they smart, they wise. They say, well, hey, look, man, here's what we'll do. We'll invent some running shoes for you. We'll put some shock absorbers in it so you can go running. Now you'll double the weight that's on it, but you'll be soft and cushioned in your feet. Man. And when he saw that he did not overcome him, he touched the socket of his thigh. Some translation says, and when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with it. Some translation will deceive you, give you the impression that you get confused as to who it was that saw he didn't prevail. This translation here, it has he, standard, lowercase. But theirs, they put the uppercase because he was not an ordinary man that Jacob wrestled with, okay? So now, he saw that he did not overcome him, and the socket of Jacob's hip was dislocated as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaks. In other words, all right, I've been here with you for a little bit now. Come on, man, enough of this foolishness. Let me go. The sun is rising. Your father said, I'm not letting go until you have blessed me, until you have baruch me, until you have barak me. Now, to barak, first and foremost, you make adoration of something. You bow before it, you kneel, you honor it, and then you bestow unmerited favor upon that. Are you listening? Come on, man. Y'all ain't listening. And he asked him, what is your name? It's a rhetorical question. He knew who he was wrestling with. What's your name? And he said, Yaakov. And he said, your name is no longer Yaakov, but Yisrael, because you have striven with Elohim and with men and have overcome. That is a declarative. You hear that? He says, your name ain't no longer Yaakov. Your name is Yisrael. Because you here wrestling. You are wrestling with Elohim. You don't even know who you wrestling with yet. I'm telling you to your face. Do you know who I am? You done held me up. I have made a grand appearance unto you in the earth. You wrestling with me. You've held me up. I got to go. You have overcome. So you must understand that Jacob's wrestling with the man there was symbolic of him wrestling with himself. Because see, no longer was he required to live as a supplanter, to live by his wits, to live by get it how I get it how you live. You hear how people say that all the time, get it how you live. Well, if you live like a crook, you got to steal, you got to hustle, you got to con. So now here is a man that realized, hey, I just finished praying. I asked Yahweh, have mercy upon me. Remember what you said to me. You told me if I leave my country and go here, you're going to do well by me. And you appeared to me in the middle of the night. This is awesome. Wait a minute. I ain't letting you go. Please, prove you're going to be with me. Bless me. And he wouldn't let him go. He didn't just jump on him and fight him just because he wanted to fight and wrestle somebody. He was asking for something. And when he realized what was standing before him, he did that. Right? Can I pause from this? Let's go back. I'm gonna go a little deeper in the book. Let me show you something. We're talking. What's the subject matter? Now y'all had to look at the sheet. You especially, bro. You'd be ashamed. So you had to look at the notes. You had to look. What is the topic? Power with Yahweh. I say that we, the children of Israel, you don't know what kind of power you have with Yahweh because we've been taught not to believe in miracles today. We've been taught to be self-sufficient. You can't make it in this world being self-sufficient, okay? You're not going to make it. You can think you're self-sufficient all you want. You're going to fail. Let's do this. Let's go to the book of Judges, chapter 13. I ain't going to read all this. I'm going to come back and get into this a little bit. Judges 13, listen to this. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of Yahweh. And Yahweh delivered them into the hand of the Philistines. 40 years. Can you imagine that? That's a lifetime for some of us. 40 years. You go into captivity into my hand. And there was a certain man of Zorah of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah. And his wife was barren and bare not. And the angel of Yahweh appeared unto the woman. Listen now, look. And the angel of Yahweh appeared unto the woman and said unto her, behold now, you are barren and bearest not, but you shall conceive and bear a son. Now, didn't Yahweh seem to have a pattern with Yisrael? Dealing with the barren women, telling them, now I'm going to bless you with some children. This is why your children, it is imperative that you cover your children in the power of Yahshua. There are billions of children in the world. It is imperative that if you are Yisrael, that you know Yahweh, that your children have a perfect functional relationship with Abba Yah. It is imperative that your children know Yahweh. Don't just be having babies for sake of having babies. Bring them up under the nurture and admonition of Yahshua. That's what the book says. So he says, you are barren and bearest not, but you shall conceive and bear a son. Now, don't this story sound similar to something that's going to come along historically later for Yisrael? See, you must understand the coming of Yahshua, because Yahshua bore a striking resemblance and similarity to every aspect of every life of every prophet that walked the face of this earth. He went through the same things they went through. Okay? The same things you and I go through, he went through those things. Okay, I want you to understand, you do not have a high priest that can't be touched with the feelings of our infirmities. He's touched by everything that we went through. This is why we even reference Yahweh, Abba, Yahweh. It's like your children saying, Papi, Papa. I watch my grandbaby every day I come in. She's almost 2 years old. Every day I come in the door, she says, Papa. That you, Papa? That's all I said. Is that you, Papa? She's looking right at me. She says, is that you, Papa? And I got to confirm it. Yes, it's me. The same relationship in the way that we're touched by things like that. Yahweh is touched by his children, but we do not pay him any attention. Come on, Yisrael, let's go through this. He says, now therefore, I pray thee, in other words, I'm instructing you, I beg that you follow this. Beware, and drink not wine nor strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. Today they want everything unclean. They want the crab meats, the pork chop, the wine, the beer, the liquor. They in the club. They want to turn it up. They 8 months pregnant in the club, shaking up the baby and everything. No, look at how he has instructed this woman. We have power with the Most High. So he says, for thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come upon his head. Don't cut his hair. For the child shall be a Nazarite unto Yahweh. From the womb, you hear that? He is a Nazarite from the womb. And he shall begin to deliver Yisrael out of the hand of the Philistine. Now look, he got to come along and deliver them after 40 years of captivity. Already he's preparing you for his job at the end of the 40 years. He is preparing the woman to let her know your son's going to be the one that's going to deliver them. See how Yahweh moves? We want to be delivered. Our oppressor, they got this, they got that. We want 20 people to get together. We're going to get a picket and a protest. We're going to get free tonight. You ain't got free yet. King marched, Malcolm marched, Medgar Evers marched, Farrakhan marched, everybody marched. March of Dimes, March of this, everybody marched. You ain't free yet. Okay? Think about it. Yahweh takes his time in what he does, and we don't pay attention. Then the woman came and she told her husband, saying, a man of Yahweh came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of Yahweh. Very awesome. Did you hear what she's saying now? She described him. She didn't say, and he was sexy too. She didn't say that. This is why you got to get people today in the assemblies. You get your mind off of sex and focus on the beauty of Yahweh's word. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told me his name. She never said, but I didn't ask him where he was from, and he didn't tell me his name. I didn't ask, I just listened to what he said, moved on. You see the proper level of conversation between them? But he said unto me, behold, thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now drink no wine, nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child should be a Nazarite to Yahweh from the womb to the day of his death. Then Manoah entreated Yahweh. See, this is power when you can go to Yahweh and ask him questions. You can pray to him. And Yahweh said, let the man, Manoah entreated Yahweh and said, O my Yahweh, let the man of Yahweh, which thou didst send, come again to us and teach us that we shall do what we shall do unto the child that shall be born. And Yahweh hearkened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of Yahweh came again unto the woman as she sat in the field. But Manoah, her husband, was not with her. Second time. This wasn't a sneak tip. And the woman made haste and ran and showed her husband and said unto him, behold, the man has appeared unto me that came unto me the other day. And Manoah arose and went after his wife and came to the man and sent unto him, art thou the man that speaks unto the woman? And he said, I am. Pay attention now. He says, I am. And Manoah said, now let thy words come to pass. How shall we order the child? And how shall we do unto him? And the angel of Yahweh said unto Manoah, of all that I said unto the woman, let her beware. This word beware here, it means take heed. What I told you, pay attention to it. I'm not going to keep repeating it. Beware. Take heed. Guard what I said. Are you listening? And Manoah said unto the angel of Yahweh, I pray thee, let us detain you. Stay with us for a little while. That is, until we have made ready a kid for thee. He's going to feed him now. This is the hospitality. And the angel of Yahweh said unto Manoah, though you detain me, I will not eat of your bread. If you will offer a burnt offering, you must offer it unto Yahweh. For Manoah knew not that he was a malach of Yahweh. And Manoah said unto the malach of Yahweh, what is your name? That when thy sayings come to pass, we may do you honor. And the angel of Yahweh said unto him, why askest thou after my name, seeing that it is secret, seeing that it is perfected? In other words, ain't none of your business. You learn the name at the appointed time. But they were at least asking. Y'all ready? And Manoah took a kid with the meat offering, and offered it upon a rock unto Yahweh. And the angel did wondrously, and Manoah and his wife looked on. And it came to pass, when the flame went up toward the heavens, or Shemayim, from off the altar that the Malach of Yahweh ascended into the flame of the altar, and Manoah and his wife looked on it and fell on their faces to the ground. Notice, they baraked him. They worshiped him. They fell down. They bowed. They prayed, because it was at that precise moment they realized who he was. Where is the power of the church today? Why isn't those types of things happening in the church today? I'll do you one better. Why is it not happening among the children of Yisrael today? We're supposed to be different from the world. We're other people to whom Yahweh perform these miracles. He is not going to perform like that before the world. It is among you and I that he will do these things if we trust and believe and set ourselves in a position to obey him. But the angel of Yahweh did no more appear to Manoah and to his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of Yahweh, or that he was a Malach. And Manoah said to his wife, we shall surely die, because we have seen Elohim. You hear that? You see, the scripture says, no man shall see the face of Yahweh and live. But if Yah changes his mind and he picks and chooses how he chooses to do that, and you read that in the book, you can't discount it. Because people have seen the face of Abba Yahweh and lived. We must come to understand that Yah is not limited by any of the natural laws of the universe that he has implemented, and he is not limited by his own power, because he has all power. You want to see limitations in the power of Yahweh? Look around. The limitations in the power of Yahweh are in you and I. We are the one that limit the power of Yahweh because we simply do not believe. Why does all the world print this book up if they didn't believe? Think about it. They just stopped printing the books a long time ago. And they want you and I to believe stupid stuff. That's why they print up Dr. Seuss. Give it to your children. Give them that. There's a cat walking around with a big top hat. This cat's going to talk to him. This cat's going to teach him. And then we look at the cat. Yes, get him that. Get him the cat in the hat. He said, no, tell him about Manoah. Who? We've already failed. You hear me, Yisrael? But his wife said unto him, she's the contrary one now, but contrary in the wisdom of Yahweh. Listen to what she says. If Yahweh were pleased to kill us, he would not have received the burnt offering and the meat offering at our hands. Neither would he have showed us all these things, nor would at this time have told us such things as these. She was wise enough to catch on. Wait a minute. He said, I'm going to have a son. Why is he going to appear to us and then kill us? She was thinking. See, this is what the righteous women of Yahweh do. The righteous women of Yahweh, they're thinking. You're going to be stupid. You don't keep on messing around. You can't sit in the assembly of Yahweh no 3 years and be dumb. Don't sit in the assembly of Yahweh no 5 years and still be dumb. Don't sit up and hear the messengers of Yahweh teach after 10, 15, 20 years and be dumb. Yahweh's Ruach, it is wisdom, it is knowledge, it is understanding before all the world. And it is how you raise up a mighty nation. So come on, men. The same rules apply to you and I. And the women bare a son and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and Yahweh baraked him. You hear that? And the Ruach of Yahweh began to move him at times in the camp of Dan between Zorah and Eshtaol. So you see how the Spirit of Yahweh began to move upon the young man, began to make him do things. You wonder why sometimes. You got to look and understand. We doubt Yahweh today. Yahweh says in his word, I am the same today, yesterday, and forever. So then all Yisrael has to do is just simply believe, man. That's all we have to do. Come on, man. A lot of time we don't believe. And truth be told, we fight to make certain that it does not come to pass. I knew a family years ago in the Assembly of Yahweh. Every week they had a problem. Every week they had a problem. And Yahweh brought something to my attention. And rather than just jump and go with it, I admit in my own error, I even doubted Abba Yahweh. But I had to go away and pray for the understanding of it, as well as pray for the forgiveness of doubting what Abba Yahweh had revealed. Every week they had a problem. In other words, they were testing Yahweh to really see whether or not Yahweh could solve it. But guess what? I got one this week. Let's see if Yahweh can solve this problem. Guess what? I got one this week. Let's see if he can solve that problem. Guess what? I got another one this week. Every week there was a problem, and they were testing and rebelling against Abba Yahweh. Every week they had an issue. Simply because they didn't believe. You're going to have your trials and your tribulations, Yisrael, but you're going to have to stand fast and hold on to Yahweh's unchanging hand. And don't let go until he barak you. That's how you're going to have to live it out. There is no other way. We always want the easy way, but sometimes the easy way is not the best way. We're going to have to realize that as a people of Abba Yahweh. Sometimes the easy way is not the best way. We have to come to know that, man. Y'all all right? Let's go on back in the book. Let's go back to the Bereshit 32. Let's go on back. We're looking at this wrestling match. This is where they get WWF from today. You all don't know no championship wrestler. This is the champion wrestler here. The man was an overcomer. He fought so well, he changed his name. So that every time somebody say the name Yisrael, you are pronouncing the blessing of Elohim upon yourselves. That's serious blessing. Somebody change your name and give you a name that has such a resounding presence in the heavens that every time somebody says it, they barak you. Yisrael, Yisrael, Yisrael. Come on, man. Christian, Christian, Christian. Muslim, Muslim, Muslim. Jew, Jew. Nigga, nigga, nigga. Just testing the waters. Not berating us, just testing the water. Just want to see if you woke. Yisrael. Are we teaching today? Are we learning anything today? Come on, let's open the book. I'm going to take my time. This is entitled Power with Yahweh, the series, because I can't get it all in today. I'll come back next week. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to come back again next week. I'm going to do it the week after that if Yahweh say, go on. This is a series. You can't get all this across. Elder Johnson, these notes that I have, I got my daddy's notes somewhere up here. The notes, the paper is probably older than most of you young folks, man. I don't have the notes here. It don't matter. I got something. Don't matter. I got it. The notes are older than the oldest of the young people in here. This piece of paper old, man. And he taught it as one Shabbat lesson. He preached it as a sermon. I'm looking at the notes. I'm like, that's deep. I can't get it across in a day because we're standing where the old man would want us to be. Take what I taught you and go even further. Go with it. Build upon it. Because that's how you lift up a generation. That's how you teach them. Come on, children. Don't live all your lives under your mamas and your daddies. Now, then when you get old yourself, you can't do what they did. You're supposed to be able to do what they did to go further than they did. When they're in the ground, you should be able to build on what they taught you now. Because you got little ones that are looking at you. So I don't know what to do. I don't even know how to pay the rent. You didn't pay attention. You have to pay attention in life, okay? So now we fail as Israel. We fail because we're not watching what the wrestler did. So he said, as a prince, you have power with Elohim and with men, and has prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said unto him, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. Now notice every time the messengers came, they wanted to know their name. And he said, for what cause is it that you doth ask after my name? And he baruched him there. He presented him and said, look, why are you asking me my name? For what cause is it? I said, I'm going to bless you, so be it. And he blessed him from that moment forward, okay? And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel. I want y'all to hear this now. Peniel, as in the pineal gland. You hear this? For I have seen Elohim face to face, and my life is preserved. Peniel. Now, I'm going to show you something real quick. Let's go back into the book of Genesis chapter 3. I know this one by heart. Genesis 3:19. I'm going to show you something. Man had messed up. If you read the scriptures close and just look at the pattern, a lot of times people, they don't even pay attention to the pattern. Once man fell, Yahweh never walked openly among man like that anymore. Once Adam fell, the way Yahweh walked up on him, talked with him openly like that, he never walked again like that with him in the garden anymore. But he reminded him of something. Look at this. He says, in the sweat of thy panim, or in the sweat of thy face, panim as in face, the man named the place Peniel, as in the face of Elohim. I saw him. I'm going to name this place a special name. Now, in the human body, there is a place, there's something in the human body called the pineal gland. It comes up the spine, goes all the way up to the arch, to the top of the brain. It connects the brain. It's the one where the melanin and secretions and all that take place, whereby you dream. You receive revelations, you get understanding, you get knowledge of Abba Yahweh and who he is. You think it's a coincidence that they take a Hebraic word and carry it over into the English language, and it still means the same thing, the avenue and the venue by which you get your revelation with Abba Yahweh. You hear me? See, when somebody cut that off, you can't function no more. You hear me? Now, why would the Freddie Gray scenario be so compelling to a city full of the children of Israel? If you don't understand that once his pineal gland was severed, he could no longer function fully under the command of Abba Yahweh. Are you all listening to this? Some things take place in the world. It can take place in a small little place like this, but it has such a profound connection to you that it catches the attention of all the world. I'm going to throw that right there. You all pay attention. The spinal column was severed. Come on, Yisrael. So Yahweh tells him, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it wast thou taken. For dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. You know what? I can feel this already. I'm going to take my time because I got so much to touch on. I'm going to overwhelm you today so that you're going to have to go back and study this. For those of you that are viewing by way of the live stream, please bear with me. Call your family, your friend, tell them Elf Johnson's on. He got something hot for us today. You all going to have to look at this. We're going to have to go back over it again. We're going to have to view this one because, see, we as a nation, we're in America and we're playing around. Elder Johnson said, listen to this. We're going to have to pay attention. Because we're crying and we're wondering why we're not overcoming nothing. We ain't overcoming nothing. We ain't even overcoming the trash cubicles in our backyard, man. We're overcoming nothing. But yet we are a nation that has power with you. A Yisraelite is an overcomer. Don't be no Yisraelite without overcoming. Otherwise, you're just saying the word just for sake of wasting breath. And in the sweat of your brow, that's what we're doing, man. Come on, man. So he says, for I have seen the face of Elohim, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Peniel, some translations spell it Peniel. It's the same thing. It's just a variation of how it's spelled. I want you to understand that it's got that L at the end of it, Peniel. Some of the Hebrews, they argue about the use of that word, but I'm not going to go against it because it appears in the Hebraic scrolls too many times for it to be ignored as an illegal term in the Hebraic language. You hear what I'm saying to you? Some nations and different things. You can't get caught up now because sometimes the nations have taken Hebraic words and incorporated it in their worship of their gods. Because see, when you start telling people, well, let's look at the scriptures real quick. I want to ask you a key question. How is it, if Hebrew is not of vital importance, how is it that all the things that we're reading in the book before the nations begin to grow and develop are all described in Hebraic words? Before there were nations, but the Hebraic words and terminologies and the words have meanings and definitions in Hebrew that can't be carried over into none of the other languages. By the time then you start getting to the other nations, Egypt, Mitzrayim, Nimrod, the different rulers, now they have names and words that appear, and in the Hebraic, guess what? Their names and their words have no meaning. You listening to me? So you got to start looking and asking. So then when the nations take Hebraic phrases and throw it over in their language and say, well, that means God in such and such a thing. That's okay. They took it over there and ascribed it to their God, but it was spoken over here. And Yahweh said it meant this, that, and the other. We're going to go with the Bereshit, the beginning. Y'all understand me? We need to learn that. We need to watch for the pattern of how Abba Yahweh works. Police do this. Crime scene investigators, they come on the scene and they looking at stuff you and I are not looking at. So they pick up a pattern based upon information that they know to look for. But you and I don't know to look for that information, correct? Isn't that how it's done? So then you're going to do the same thing with the book. You're looking for evidence that they're not looking for because you're looking at the book through the eyes of a Hebrew. You hear me? You're looking at the book through the eyes of the people who wrote it. You're not looking at the book through the eyes of the people that translated it and didn't understand what they were looking at. They were so stupid, y'all would let them invent a language years later that is laden with words from the original language of the earth that they today cannot even comprehend, my friend. Come on, man. Every letter of their little bastard alphabet. I'm going to leave that one. That's another message. Another day, another time. So Yisrael must come to understand this. Y'all all right? I'll put this one up for a moment, okay? Power with Yahweh. If this is a series, then what we must come to understand is that it has to have a duration or durative process throughout our lives so that your power with Yahweh does not just fade. When it was time for Father Abraham to die, Yahweh had to take the power from the man. He had to take his ruach off of the man so he could die. That's serious. When it was time for Ezra to die, and he sent the death angel to get the messenger, Ezra. Ezra stood there and debated with the messenger that was coming to get his soul. That's power. He said, I'm not dying yet. He says, come on, give me your soul, man. I'll take it out through your eyes. How you going to take it from my eyes? I saw Yahweh face to face. How you going to take it? So, well, you be cool. We'll take your soul. We'll take it out of your mouth. How you going to take it out of my mouth? I preached in the sanctuary of Yahweh. He says, I'll take it through your feet. How you going to take it through the feet? I walked on the mountain with Moshe. Come on, this is a man that wouldn't even give up his life. He has power with Yahweh. Come on, man. Maybe I got ahead of myself with that. Maybe I need to bring that in part 2, right? Y'all say, I'll fix you right here, right now. I ain't going to wait till part 2. Bring it up now. How about that? Can I feed you that way? That's the way you teach the children of Yisrael. They're off balance. See, when people learn what they think they want to learn, they really don't learn them because there is a tactic to teaching. You cannot teach people that which they already know because they can't hear you after so long of a time. They ain't going to hear you. Say, hey, you live at such and such a place, this, that, and that. You're going to shake your head and say, yeah, that's right. Now notice, you'll say, yeah, that's right. So then the person turn around and say it again. Now, you live at such a place, this, that, and other. Don't forget it, okay? Now you're going to look at the person in front of you. Don't forget it. I know where I live. They say, I'm just making sure. Just want to make sure you don't forget where you live. Then the person say, I'm tired of having to teach this brother or this sister where they live. I got to tell them their address every 20 minutes. Now you're going to get a little tooted. You're going to get a little attitude, right? It's a little, don't keep on coming over here trying to tell me where I live. I bought the house. I know where it is. I know this, that, and that. Get on over there. Don't come trying to teach me that. But when you start teaching people something that they don't know, then something has an effect over them. Because now the word of Yahweh forces their ruach, their spirit within. It has to do one of two things. It has to receive or reject what's being said. That's how you teach the children of Israel. Hallelujah. That's how you teach the children of Israel. You hear that? I hope they heard that one at home. He says, out of the mouth of babes hast thou ordained what? Strength. Praises. He's given them that. Come on, man. Let's go to the book of Hosea, chapter 12. We'll talk about this here. Children of Israel should take delight in the Shabbat. This is a day, man. You got to take delight in that, man. Hey, little beautiful song. I don't never sing the song the way y'all sing it, man. I have my own tune in my head, man. My little grandson, man, he watched me. He tried to get the exact note I had. I listened to him last week, try to hit the note. I just was singing the song. I said, this is the day that Yah has made. He in the front room. He said, day. I'm like, did you hear that? We looked at each other. He tried to hit the exact note. That's what he does. This is the day that Yah has made, and I will rejoice, for Yah has made me glad, glad. Yah has made me glad. Yah has made me glad, and I will rejoice, for Yah has made me glad. Come on, Yisrael, you should sing to your children. Teach them the joy of Yah. Listen to this. This is Hosea chapter 12. Listen to the beauty of this. Yahweh hath also a controversy with Yahudah, and will punish Yaakov according to his ways. According to his doings will he recompense him. Now, Yaakov was dead by the time this was wrote. So now he's talking to you and I about Yaakov as the nation now. Not in the singular as just the man, but as the nation. Okay? Will recompense him. He took his brother by the heel in the womb, and by his strength he had what? Power with Yahweh. He had power over the Malak. Look at what he had power over now. And prevailed. He wept and made supplication unto him. He found him in Bethel, and there he spake with us. This is history now. This is what the children of Israel should do. The nation today, once you stand and you hear the national anthem, dun, 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 you're supposed to get up. But now we don't get up and get moved by anything of Abba Yahweh. But look here, he says, even Yahweh of Sebaoth. Yahweh is his memorial. This is how you say his name. Yahweh is his memorial. There's always a controversy with the Hebrews. How do you arrive at Yahweh? I said, no. You got the question backward. How do you arrive at what it is that you're saying? Now, go bring me all your research material and show me how you arrive at it. Now, before you go get it, I'm going to tell you what you're going to come back with, and I'm going to tell you your start point and your end point. Your start point is going to be present day internet. Your end point going to be opening phase internet. Because you don't know nothing about no libraries. You don't know nothing about no historic records. You don't know nothing about no old books. You don't know nothing about no old scrolls. You don't know nothing about the text. You're not a legitimate researcher. You're not a legitimate messenger of Abba Yahweh. You're not even real with your worship and knowledge of Yahweh as Yisrael. And therefore your research going to cut off after about 20 years going back. That's it. So then when we say, come on, my friend, let's look at some of these pictures. Let's look at what's written on some of the caves in Russia. Let's go on down into Australia. Let's look at what's put on the walls there. Let's look at some of the cathedrals up in Europe. Let's look at some of the things that are done down in the deepest parts of Africa. And they're going to show you Yahweh is his memorial. But the Hebrews want to argue, even among themselves, you ain't got no power. You don't even believe. Therefore, listen, turn to Yahweh, your Elohim. Keep Hasid, Mitzvah, and wait on your Elohim. And it says continually. We always want to do something ourselves. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. He says, wait on your Elohim continually. How Adam going to jump up? He waiting there. He need the Ruach in him to be animated. He laying there ready to go. Yahweh ain't breathed the breath of life in, but he gonna jump up and go. How could he do it? How then can we do it today? We don't pay attention, and for this cause we have no power with Yahweh. Our enemies today, the book of Yahweh says they'll go out before you one way and flee 7 ways before you. If you fail to obey me, you'll go out before them one way and you'll flee 7 ways before them. You'll be just that terrified. Tell me who the words of prophecy have fallen upon, us or upon them. Come on, man. You don't know the power of Abba Yahweh until you look up and realize something. Sometimes some things in life get frightening, man. I don't necessarily mean frightening in the sense you scared and trembling, can't find your way home. Something happened to me twice in the same day last week that threw me for a loop. And in the construct of the way it shook me, it made me both times give honor and credit to Abba Yahweh. At one particular point, I had a little confusion broke out on the job early in the week, and all the little Hispanics, little Mexicans. Funny thing, not disrespecting anybody, but I'm gonna be bold with what I'm gonna say. When you 4'8", you ain't got no business walking up on nobody 5'11", close to 200 pounds, acting like you want to fight. Bottom line, don't send no 11 men and the man standing looking in the top of all of your heads like you gonna do something. You need to stop that. That's what we did. So early in the week, we had a little dispute on the job site. The men got mad with the men on my crew, and they came, "Where's your boss?" They come looking for me. And he talked trash to me for about 30 seconds till I rose up. Let him know I'm not to be played with. Don't you ever talk to me like that again in your life. And then they all put their heads down. And I looked up and I realized that Abba Yahweh made them make obeisance unto me because they were talking to me. I was not guilty of what they accused me and my crew of doing. Their material was on the other side. They thought we took it and moved it. They moved it on the other side. They thought we stole it. So then they were rebuked when I began to tell them what the man said he did with it and let them know, don't you ever talk to me like that, or even approach me in that manner ever again in your life. So then I became Senor. So it kind of caught me and it frightened me. And I look at them, they're afraid of me. So every morning that I would go in the job and they would all look and they would bow. Buenos dias. And they would bow. And I would, Buenos dias. But I was looking at the crew, said, you see how they do you, man? He said, man, they honored you. They ain't do me like that. I said, no, it's not that. Let's go ahead on. Let's go to our station. But then later in the week, I'm in a store, and I'm talking to the cashier, and there's a man standing there next to me, and he's looking at my face. Then he digs in his pocket, and I'm going to pay for my tour. He says, hey, man, do me a favor. Give me that $20, and you take this 50. Said, I don't have change for 50, my friend. I had it. I just, be careful. Don't pull out money in public in front of people like that. So I'm thinking he asked for change. He says, do me a favor, my friend. Give me that 20, you take this 50. So I said, I don't have change for it. You might have to get it from the cashier. He says, I don't want change for it. Give me the 20. You take this 50. And you put the balance to your broadcast. I know who you are. I recognize your voice. Now that frightened me. And I looked at the brother. I said, my dear friend, I'll do just that. You didn't have to do that. He says, man, we listen to you faithfully. We are honored that somebody takes the ruach of Yah upon them and just simply stand for us. He said, don't ever stop telling the truth. That's right. We give that honor to Yahweh. Don't y'all ever get caught trying to give the honor to me. I didn't make me. So whatever is within, I didn't place it there. Abba Yah places it there. And I pray that Abba Yah, as the deacon prayed this morning, that Yahweh keep us all, that he watch over us, but you have to fight for it. When you receive those blessings and you're brought up, then you fight to maintain that, Yisrael. Do you hear me? You fight to walk up before you. You don't have to make the world honor you. I don't care that the world doesn't honor me. I care that Abba Yahweh honor me. That's where I want to be honored. Where Yahweh said, have mercy upon that one. You hear me, Yisrael? That's what I'm looking for. I want y'all to have mercy upon me. I told y'all I'm bringing this point in. Let's highlight this. Hallelujah. Little messengers of Yahweh had some power, man. They had some power with Yahweh, and they weren't arrogant with it. That's what I love. I love the way this brother exercised power with Yahweh's messenger, and he wasn't arrogant. He exercised the power. I'm like, listen to what he's saying. I had to read it out loud to myself. Y'all ready for this? And the prophet said, listen, I ain't even gonna tell y'all where I'm reading from. That make it a little more exciting. Is that all right? I will not tell you where I'm reading from other than to say I'm reading from the suppressed books. It makes it a little more exciting because, see, y'all going to go home to have them, or those of you that are already home, y'all going to start searching for it. And in the process of searching for it, you're going to be reading and seeing other stuff, and you're going to be more encouraged, and the power of Abba Yahweh will be increased in you. So I ain't telling you everything. That's how we are as a people. We find that at. We get that at. Wait on Yahweh continually. That's what this verse says, right? Before I go here, let's finish here. Therefore, turn to thy Elohim. Keep Hasid. Have some mercy on one another. We're going to get on each other's nerves sometimes. Have a little mercy on me as I get on you all's nerves up here, okay? Have a little mercy on me. Keep proper mitzvah, the judgment. Keep it. And wait on your Elohim for a week. For 2 weeks. Your book say continually, right? Then continually can be transferred in your mind to forever. Wait on Yahweh. That's what Psalms 27 says. It says, wait, I say, on Yahweh. Wait on him. Everything ain't gonna happen overnight. There's gonna be some things where you pray sometime, man. You got to pray, man, and wait. Pray and wait. And the prophet said, Yahweh, reveal to me the punishments and paradise. And the angel led me away to the east, and I saw the tree of life. And I saw there Hanak, Elijah, Moshe, Kepha, Shaul, Lucas, and Mattatyahu, and all the righteous and the patriarchs. And I saw there the punishments of the air, and the blowing of the winds, and the storehouses of the ice, and the eternal punishments. And I saw there a man hanging by his skull. And they said unto me, this one transferred boundaries. See, he had a massive sin. He did something he wasn't supposed to do. He transferred boundaries. And I saw there great judgments, and said to Yahweh, oh, Yahweh, Yahweh, which of men, having been born, did not sin? And they led me further down in Tartarus. And I saw all the sinners lamenting and weeping and evil mourning. And I too wept, seeing the race of men being punished. Then Yahweh said to me, Ezra, oops, do you know the names of the Malach who are over the consummation? Mikael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, Gebuthelion, Akia, Alpha, Gotonius, Beberus, and Zebulon. Then the voice came unto me and said, come here, die, Ezra, my beloved. Give back that which has been entrusted to you. And the prophet said, whence can you bring forth my soul? And the Malak said, we can cast it forth through your mouth. And the prophet said, I spoke mouth to mouth with Yahweh, and it will not come forth from there. And the Malak said, we will bring it forth through your nostrils. And the prophet said, my nostrils have smelled the glory of Yahweh. And the Malak said, we can bring it forth through your eyes. And the prophet said, my eyes have seen the back of Yahweh. And the Malak said, we can bring it forth through your head. And the angel said, we can bring it forth through your feet. And the prophet said, I walk with Moshe on the mountain, and it will not come forth from there. And the angel said, we can cast it forth through the tips of your toenails. And the prophet said, my feet have walked in the sanctuary. And the Malak departed him unsuccessful, saying, Yahweh, we cannot receive his soul. Now that's serious. Somebody so righteous with Yahweh, not in the sense or the construct of being rebellious, but someone whom Abba Yah has granted the Ruach, which is the eternal spirit. Somebody that had it in their lifetime and understood the dynamic of the power and were able to utilize it in a way when the messenger came to retrieve them when it was time to die. He said, not me. Not yet. Y'all all right? Can I go a little further? Nah, maybe I should. What y'all think? I'm going anyway. Sister, keep going. Then he said to his only begotten son, listen now, this is how important life is. Go down, my beloved son, with the numerous host of the Malak. Take the soul of my beloved Ezra. For Yahweh, having taken a numerous army of the angels, said to this prophet, give me that deposit which I entrusted to you. Notice now carefully how he comes to him. He says, give me the deposit which I have entrusted to you. See, when we speak of Yahshua, we cannot reduce him to just that of what you would call a mere man. He came to get what he placed in him. Even though you rebelled against his angels in the righteous sense, he came personally now because there was nothing that was made that was not made by him. We have to understand that. He was there with Abba Yahweh from the beginning. And since this point comes across my mind, might as well spit it out. Now you understand why the world had to paint him white. Y'all listening to that? You understand why they had to make him a white boy. Now notice, they use the word boy to reduce your power and strength. They call you boy in the New York Second to this day. Boy. But Yaakov didn't wrestle with a boy. They had to turn around again and interpret in this one and capitalize the man. Because they had to recognize that there was nothing that was made that was not made without the man. So when the man calls forth whatsoever is his, it has to come. Y'all all right? Come on. Give me that deposit which I entrusted to you. The crown has been made ready for you. And the prophet said, Yahweh, if you take my soul from me, who will you have left to plead on behalf of the race of men? Ah, good point he raises here. If you take me, who gonna plead? Ain't many out there pleading. And Yahweh said, you who are mortal and earthly, do not plead the case with me. Isn't that beautiful? Let them know, hey, you are earthly, you're mortal, don't plead with me. Give it up. Come on, this is beautiful, man. And this wasn't rebellion. This wasn't no argument now. This was the righteous now. This is a righteous man tugging at the heartstrings of Abba Yahweh. Because now he realized what kind of power Yahweh gave him. Not just yet, not just yet, not just yet. You listening? Elder Johnson used to say something to us all the time. He used to say, live your life like tomorrow's judgment day. That way when it's time to die, you will not be around here fighting death. See, a lot of people, when it's time to die, they don't want to die. Not like this brother here who's determined to do the work. And then, oh, I don't want to die yet. Oh, I just got my house. Oh, I want to enjoy my house. I just filled up my tank. Oh, we got pork spare ribs in the freezer. Oh, I don't know. No. Not that kind of fighting for your life. This is one that pleaded for you and I. He was concerned for you and I. Y'all all right? Come on. And the prophet said, I shall never cease pleading. And Yahweh said, give in the meanwhile that which is entrusted to you. The crown has been readied for you. Come here, die, so that you may obtain that. Then the prophet began to speak with tears. Oh Yahweh, what profit is it that I plead the case with you, and I'm going to fall to the earth? Woe. For I will be consumed by worms. Bewail me, all Kodesh and pious ones. I plead greatly and am delivered over to death. Bewail me, all Kodesh and just ones, because I have entered the bowels of hell. And Yahweh said to him, hear me, Ezra, my beloved one. I, being immortal, received a burden. I tasted vinegar and gall. I sat down in a grave. I raised up my elect ones, and I summoned up Adam from Hades, so that the race of men may continue. Therefore, fear not death. Now, if this don't tell you who this was, you ain't gonna never get it. If this don't tell you who Yahshua was, he says, I raised up Adam from death. Wait a minute, he resurrected? I didn't read that. Well, you go back in the lost books, you learn where Shaitan murdered him. And he gave him his life back because he was the progenitor of all men. This is how men repay him today, by teaching lies and doctrines of devils. Oh, the Big Bang Theory. We evolved from a monkey. I got questions about stuff like that. And my questions would be so stupid that it would shut them down. You know, like, how is it then if monkeys are so wise, they ain't inventing cars and building houses and making money? I ain't seen a monkey on the money. No. Guys, strike that one from the record. We're going to eliminate that one. That one wouldn't make sense. Because, in fact, that one make perfect sense. Think about it. Yeah, anyway. Leave them alone. We're gonna leave them alone. They out there monkey business. Leave them alone. Anyway. He says, therefore, do not fear death. For that which is from me, that is the soul, departs for Shemayim. That which from the earth, that is the body, departs for the earth, from which it was taken. And the prophet says, whoa, what shall I do? How shall I act? I know not. In other words, if I got to die, what's on the other side? I don't know how to prepare. Then Barak Ezra, as he began to say, O eternal Yahweh, creator of the whole creation, who measured out the heavens with a span and contained the earth in his hand, who drives the cherubim. Let me stop real quick. You hear that? Who contains the earth in his hand. They wondering how it's suspended? You better shut your mouth and be thankful. They don't know Yahweh. But you have the power and the understanding to know him. He holds it in his hand. He created it and it sits there in his hand. What do you think he'll do? Run on the other side? Well, I'll run on this side. He don't see me. I'm down here in the palm of his hand. So when I was up on the top of the creation, yeah, he saw you. You ran around the bottom at the palm. You think you're on a globe? You think you're on a ball? I don't care what you think you're on. It's in the palm of his hand. These people say they're wise, man. O eternal Yahweh, creator of the whole earth, who measured out the heavens with a span and contained the earth in his hand, who drives the cherubim, who took the prophet Elijah to the Shemaims in a fiery chariot, who gives nurture to all flesh, whom all things fear and tremble from face of your power. Hear me, who pleads greatly. Give to all who copied this book and preserve it, and recall my name and preserve my memory fully. Give them blessing from heaven, and bless all of his things, just as the end of Yusuf, and remember not his previous sins on the day of judgment. Those who do not believe this book will be burned like Sodom and Gomorrah. And a voice came to him saying, Ezra, my beloved, I should grant to each one the things which you asked. Can we say hallelujah? Hallelujah. The man asked Yahweh, bless these people, all that hear the words of this book, those that love this memory, those that seek to obey. He asked Yahweh, bless them. And Yahweh said, I will grant to each one the things which you asked. Isn't it awesome to have a man in the earth that has a relationship with Yahweh, that what he begs Yahweh for, Yahweh does that? Come on, Yisrael. This is what we have to teach our young men now. This is what you got to teach the messengers. Yahweh's house comes first. Yahweh's people come first. Yahweh's family comes first. If you take care of the house of Yahweh, if you take care of the family of Yahweh, you are taking care of your house. We don't understand that. We're taking care of it. Can I tell y'all this sad story? This one a little embarrassing. This one on me, all right? About a year, was about a year or so ago. Let's see if I can fight this back. This one gets sad. I ain't breakdown crying on y'all today. Anyway, about a year, maybe 2 years ago, we were all here, man. We were doing what we could do, man. It was when y'all would let me. We don't walk the aisle with no offering baskets here. We don't do that. We don't beg money. People send the offering, they send it. They don't. We've learned to trust Yahweh in all things. We didn't have enough coming in to make the lease here, between the lease, keeping the lights on, keep the food, keeping the place warm. We were scrambling and struggling each month. We were short. I cut a deal with the people as we leasing the property to let them know we'll be late, but you'll get it every month. We may be late. It takes us time to gather up offering and do that. And the sister said, I'm just glad to have you there. Somebody preaching the word. She said, Elder Johnson, you do what you do. So we're falling behind. We couldn't get things done. And I was working in the winter season had hit. And in construction, this slows down. I had fallen behind on my mortgage because I was taking part and parcel of my mortgage and I was making the payment here so that we all might have a place to continue to worship Yahweh. You never put pressure on people. You give this, you give that, you do. People give. We all know that we tithe and offer the way that Abba Yah commands. That's all there is to that. So again, we don't push a basket up and down the plate. We don't stand in nobody's face. None of that. The box is in place where everybody knows where it is. You put it in. Nobody knows what you put in there. And that's the way we keep the place afloat. So I'd fallen behind on the mortgage. And then when I got the majority of it together, I had sent it in as one large payment. But what they had done was giving me a deadline. So, well, rather than take all this now, we're putting it up forward, and we want all that and this here all at the same time, which I did not have because now I'm putting back to keep the lease payment here. So they sent it back, and they were crisscrossing in the mail. So it was sent back, and I had just a few days to get it all in because they were talking foreclosure. I didn't say anything to any of you. I just kept on praying, and I just kept on trusting Yahweh. I would bid on my little jobs. I would wait. Contracts would take their time paying me. They would hold up checks. You could see it was all shaitan. I just kept the faith in Yahweh, and I kept praying. Whatever came in, came in. Whatever we had, we had. We just kept doing it. We kept preaching. We didn't even have the channel up, if I'm mistaken. We didn't even have the YouTube channel up at the time. But I just kept trusting Abba Yahweh. It got down to the wire. I had to go to the bank, get the certified check. I got everything together to pay it, to catch it. I can't say I wasn't worried. I was under a little bit of pressure, but I kept trusting somehow. And I said this to Abba Yahweh in the car. I know you are always there. I know that you are able to make a way out of no way. So at the last possible moment, I got it together and I had to have the money there that day by 12 o'clock. And they were going to turn my paperwork over to the attorneys down the hall and they would begin the foreclosure process. I had 2 hours left to get it in. And in the final 2 hours, as I was going down the road to get there, of course, I got lost. GPS wasn't acting right, what have you. I ran a red light camera, got a ticket in the mail months later, all kinds of stuff. Anything Shaitan could do to discourage me and to fight against me, he did it. And I arrived in the office 1 hour and a half before the scheduled time. And the little woman says to me, I'm so glad you made it. You know how they do. They act like they're rooting for you, what have you. But I made it. And I never rebuked or chastised Abba Yahweh for being in that position in any way. I didn't feel like a fool for fighting for the house of Yahweh, even when I put the house of Yahweh before my own house, because I just trusted that Yahweh would make a way. And he did. And it was a massive lesson for me to learn as a messenger of Abba Yahweh, because there were many days that I could think back as a young man. We've always had small congregations. We had nothing big and grand and fanciful. But there were many days as a young man when I look back and I realized now that's what my father was doing. There were days where he had to dig in his own pocket to pay the rent because people wouldn't give. People didn't care. They didn't understand. And they gave stingily. But as I was reading that the other night, I began to weep for Yisrael. I began to read in the book of how King David and all the others, when he became to power in the assembly of Yahweh, that he told the people that he gave willingly of all that he had to Abba Yahweh to build the house of Abba Yahweh. And he asked the people to pray for Shlomo, his son, that Yahweh be with him because he was young and tender, and that Yahweh be with him. And as I read that, man, I looked at the beauty of all the things that the people gave unto the house of Abba Yahweh, as King David took command of those things and turned it all over to Yahweh for the honor and glory of Yahweh. And as he prayed, he says to Yahweh, Yahweh, all of our offerings that we have given unto you, we have given unto you that which is yours. How can we give unto you that which is already yours? And Yahweh blessed the nation of Yisrael from that time forward. That, my friends, is power. We don't know the power of Yahweh because when we get a headache, we can pop an aspirin now, and that reduces that. We don't rely on Abba Yahweh to heal our vessels. We don't understand the dynamic of Abba Yahweh being able to fight for the nations, to move against them. When the nation goes out to battle and the king goes and pays the army to fight, and the man of Yahweh says, you have too many, send them back. They were so ready to go to war, they were angry with the king, that they turned as the king took just a handful that Yahweh sent to go to battle. They were angry with the king. And they turned around and they went and they devoured Yahudah because they were so angry. We don't know the power of Yahweh. That's why on last Eve, it was a little sad, man. I looked out, man. And that brother stood here and he preached that word of Yahweh to 3 people in the building. I'm not trying to make y'all feel guilty or anything. I'm just letting you know, when you watch men of Yahweh sacrifice and do all that they can do. I came here earlier yesterday, as the routine is on the incoming of the Shabbat. I got a routine that I use. I come here, I turn the heat on, I test the place, I make sure everything is nice so that when you come, it's perfect. And I looked on his desk. I don't know if he knows this now. I never touch his desk. I look at little stuff on the desk, and I keep moving, I check the mail, and I go. But I looked on his desk and I saw his notes for his Bible lesson. I didn't even look at the notes because I didn't even know what he was teaching. I don't oversee nothing them young men teach. I just tell them, you better go according to what's in the book. And as I saw his notes, and I said to myself, wow, he already been here. And it was such an honor to see that somebody had beat me to the job. But Yisrael, Shabbat begins on Shabbat Eve. I tell you all the time, the live channel, man, that's for the family of Israel. There's so many that call and contact us that don't have a shepherd, and they sit still patiently. They watch us. The channel is for them. But for those of us that are here that have the messages, you can reach out. You can touch me. You can smack my face. I'm not in your presence. But for those that are, sometimes they have to call. But this is the call. She said, I just wanted to just say shalom and say Yahweh Barah. Little stuff like that get to you, man, because sometimes you want to see the different people of Yahweh, and you can't. Come on, Yisrael. Listen to the baby, man. Come on. Listen to that. Did y'all hear that? How can you not come to love each other, man, and not come to understand the beauty of the investment that Yah has made in us, man? We don't understand. Let me do this. Father Abraham. Again, same thing. I ain't going to tell you where I'm reading from. That man was so kodesh with Yahweh that, see, Ezra wasn't the only one who went through this. The angel came to get Father Abraham. He had to sit down with him on that bench. It would be the equivalent of you and I sitting in a park bench somewhere where you got a private, sacred place where you go to talk to Yahweh. And Yahweh send the death angel. You go get him. Go get him while he's there. Go talk to him. And Abraham looked up and he realized who he was. He asked him, who are you? Tell me the truth now. You're too handsome. You're too beautiful of a man. You've come in the beauty and splendor of something that's beyond mere man. Who are you, really? And death had to tell him who he was. And not realizing the power of Yahweh and the power, excuse me, the power with Yahweh. Pardon me, Yisrael. Not realizing the power with Yahweh that he had. Abraham went through the same thing, you hear me? And he wouldn't give up his life. He says, make arrangements for the disposition of everything that you have. because the day has drawn near on which you ought to depart from the body and once again go to Yahweh. And Abraham said, did Yahweh say so? Or are you saying these things on your own? Now that's a beautiful question. He asked, did Yahweh say so? The commander in chief said, hear, righteous Abraham. The master commanded, and I tell it to you. Abraham said, I will by no means follow you. When the commander in chief heard this statement, he immediately left Abraham's presence and went up into the heavens and stood before the Most High Elohim and said, Yahweh Almighty, behold, I have heeded your friend Abraham with regard to everything that he mentioned to you. And as I have fulfilled his request, I showed him your power and the entire earth under heaven, as well as the sea. I showed him judgment and recompense by means of the clouds and the chariot. And again he has said, I will not follow you. And the Most High said to the angel, does my friend Abraham still say again, I will not follow you? The archangel said, Yahweh Almighty, thus he speaks, and I refrain from touching him, because from the beginning he has been your friend, and he did everything which is pleasing before you, and there is no man like unto him in all the earth, not even Job, the wondrous man. And for this reason I refrain from touching him. Command then, immortal king, what is to be done? And the Most High called and said, call death here to me, who is called the one of abominable countenance and merciless look. And the incorporeal Michael went and said unto death, come, the master of creation, the immortal king, calls you. When death heard, he shuddered and trembled, overcome by great cowardice. Isn't that awesome? Death becomes overcome by cowardice in the presence of Yahweh. Look at who you serve, Yisrael. If death is afraid of Yahweh, look who you serve. How do we keep on stumbling at the stumbling stone? Come on, man. We are a mighty nation that should be the awe of all nations, because they should be so confounded by everything you do. As they look in your faces, they should be confounded. What kind of man is that? What kind of woman is that? Wow, they will know. Y'all all right? And he came with great fear and stood before the unseen Father, shuddering, moaning, and trembling, awaiting the Master's command. Then the unseen Elohim said to death, come, bitter and fierce name of the world, hide your ferocity, cover your decay, and cast off from yourself your bitterness, and put on your youthful beauty and all your glory, and go down to my friend Abraham, and take him, and conduct with him. But I also tell you now, that you may not terrify him, but rather you ought to take him with soft speech, because he is my friend. That's beautiful, man. Yahweh tells the death itself, you be careful how you deal with him, because he is my friend. Are you the seed of Abraham today? Your father was a friend of Yahweh. And we messing around, we playing, we neglecting, we backsliding, we confused, we backbiting, we debating, we all, come on. Are we the seed of Abraham? When death heard these things, he left the presence of the Most High and donned a most radiant robe and made his appearance sun-like and became more comely and beautiful than the sons of men, assuming the form of an archangel, his cheeks flashing with fire, and he went away to Abraham. Now the righteous Abraham had come out of his room and was seated under the trees of Mamre, holding his chin in his hands, sitting there like this. Sitting there. Now you know he wasn't sitting back thinking nothing stupid, waiting for the arrival of Archangel Michael. And behold, a sweet odor came to him, and a radiance of light. And Abraham turned around and saw death coming toward him in great glory and youthful beauty. And Abraham arose and went to meet him, thinking that he was the commander-in-chief of Yahweh. And when death saw him, he knelt down before him and said, greetings, honored Abraham, righteous soul, true friend of the Most High, and companion of the Kodesh angels. Abraham said to death, greetings, you who are sun-like in appearance and form, most glorious assistant, bearer of light, marvelous man. Whence comes your glory to us? Who are you? And whence have you come? Then death said, most righteous Abraham, behold, I tell you the truth. I am the bitter cup of death. Abraham said to him, no, rather, you are the comeliness of the world. You are the glory and beauty of angels, of men. You are the best formed of all forms. And you say, I am the bitter cup of death? Do you not rather say, I am the best formed of everything good? Death said, I'm telling you the truth. What Yahweh has named me, that I tell you. Abraham said, why have you come here? Death said, please pardon me. I have come for your Kodesh soul. Then Abraham said, I understand what you are saying, but I will by no means follow you. And death became silent and did not answer him a word. Come on, Yisrael. We're talking power with Yahweh. Power with Yahweh. Come on, man. People don't know Yahweh. I'm not even gonna tell you how that part ended. You need those suspense thrillers. You need things like that in your life, long enough to keep you awoke, long enough to keep you busy, long enough to make you serve Yahweh, make you go and search those things out. We don't read the book like we ought to, man. There's so much in the book, man. Come on, man. Can I go back to the book of Exodus 15? Let's go back here. Let's look at these things for what it is. That dry air, things like that kind of bothers me. Forced air. Y'all forgive me for that. I come up in the house, we had oil heat. That's the way the little heaters, you go check them, make sure it didn't bother you. Like that stuff bother your lungs. A lot of things that are invented in society, they're not for our good. And whether we all like it or not, eventually, sometime, somewhere along the way in life, death does come. These people have invented nothing that's tough. Let's be clear on that. They invented nothing. I was looking at some research, some material the other day and things like that. Henry Ford, they didn't even invent the automobile. They improved on something that your brothers had did. Did you all know that? They didn't even invent it, man. Come on, man. Please, man. These are things, man, that y'all's people, you're just so profound with the ability of what you can do that we don't even understand it ourselves as a people. Exodus 15:1. Listen to this. Then sang Moshe and the children of Israel this song unto Yahweh, and spake, saying, I will sing unto Yahweh, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. See, some of this stuff with songs of victory can be put to music and sang and praise songs to Yahweh. Yahweh is my strength. Listen to how he talks now. And my song. He has become my salvation. Or you say it properly, he has become my Yahshua. Look at that. Y'all hear me? He is my Elohim. I will prepare him an habitation. My father's Elohim. And I will exalt him. Where's the habitation for Yahweh that you can build? It's your temple. That's the habitation Yah wants to dwell in. See, people think today, the Joel Osteens and others, listen, we got one of two ways to deal with the big time preachers of the world without disrespecting any of them. We got to understand one of two things. Either these men know fully well that they're hustlers, con artists, shiesty demons. Either they know it full well, or they're really just that delusional that they don't know. Either way a person chooses to look at it, that's on you. But either way, that's not what Yah's commanding to be built for him, some grand edifice. You make millions of dollars a year and billions over decades of time, and the people that are right there with you cannot make it. That's not what Yah commanded Yisrael do. Come on, man. As the messenger of Yah, it is an honor to have nothing. I don't say that. It is an honor to have nothing, knowing that we're working to obtain it all. That's what we have to see as a people. We don't understand the gift of eternal life because nobody's really broken it down to it. Most of these preachers, they don't break it down because they don't believe it themselves. Think about it. I say it all the time. I said it to a woman last week. I said, well, most of the preachers of the earth, they're in a 50-50 dilemma anyway. She says, well, what is that? I said, 50-50 dilemma. They're in a dilemma. 50% of what they say, they don't believe it. She looks. And I was waiting on her. She's waiting on me. So finally she gave in. She said, well, what about the other 50%? I said, the other 50%, they don't understand it themselves. She says, you mean tell me they don't believe half of what they saying, the other half they don't understand it? I said, well, when you die, where you going? I know I'm going to heaven. I said, 50-50. Case closed. He preached you that. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. Look at that. Pharaoh's chariot and his host hath he cast into the sea. His chosen captains that are drowned in the Red Sea. The depths have covered them. They sank into the bottom as a stone. Thy right hand, O Yahweh, is become glorious in power. I want y'all to hear what they said here, because it's not something Yahweh had to grow and fight to achieve to become glorious. When he says he has become glorious, it means, in other words, it started to become known among Yisrael how great the Almighty truly is. See, they were down in Egypt. Yahweh is great. Egypt existed because he allowed it to exist. All the nations at that time, they were great because he allowed them to exist. But now he had to go against the nations that he allowed to exist so that the world might come to remember his greatness. So here, the children of Israel, at this particular point in the battle, the glory of Yahweh started to become even greater in their sight. This is what we as the people of Yahweh are missing, okay? We don't understand that. Thy right hand, O Yahweh, have dashed in pieces the enemy. And in the greatness of thine excellency, thou hast overthrown them that rose up against thee. Look at what Yah did. They rose up against him. This is why today preachers have to stand and tell people the truth, man. It doesn't matter that the people don't like you. Stand and tell them the truth. Because those that are really seeking Yahweh, if they hear the truth, they're going to drop what they're doing to fall in line with it, because nobody wants to get burned. You heard what Yeshua said. He says that if they don't believe the book, they're going to be burned like Sodom and Gomorrah. You ever notice nobody want to talk about Sodom and Gomorrah? People get around talking, well, I don't even believe it exists. Okay, well, y'all so smart in this day and age. There's a methodology that can be utilized for that. Let's go do some soul samples. Let's go to various parts of the world. Let's do some soul samples. Because what was burned up with sulfur. The fury of Yahweh was there. Let's go get the soul sample and see which part or which region of the world has the most sulfur there in it as evidence of what was burned up. Why don't y'all do that? You went and did soul samples and other stuff to prove that the story of Noah and the ark existed. They proved that it happened. How'd they do it? Water is heavy. Water has weight. Water pushes things down. So now they're saying that there is the possibility, and the possibility is extremely great. That's what they said. That a universal flood did overtake this earth based upon the layers of the earth have been condensed. Now, if it took scientists to go away thinking that they're smart, thinking that they're wiser than Yahweh, thinking that they're above Yahweh, and then they go away and turn around and say, hey, y'all might not want to hear this, but we found evidence that, even though I don't believe that Bible, but look, that flood actually happened. Now, don't quote me on that, but yeah, that flood actually happened. I said, no, you said it. I'm quoting you. I'm writing an article about it tonight. What's your name again? And then they started telling it. So now, Yahweh's people need to see it. They found wood and lumber and stuff over there in Mount Ararat and other places, and they started looking and said, wait a minute, look at what we found. They start telling you. So now people around today demanded, well, where are the ships that brought the slaves over here? How come ain't no slave ship survive? Y'all asking some stupid questions. How come your 1972 Ford Pinto ain't survived? But we know that they existed. See, we say stuff a lot of times thinking we wise. When somebody showing up jammers on, you ain't said nothing. That's the new thing among us now. They claiming we ain't come here in captivity. They saying we were already here. We are the Native Americans. All this. I watch all the Hebrews trying to make the Hispanics and trying to make the Native Americans, trying to make all the nations of color be Israel. Listen, in all honesty, y'all ready for this? We know that the children of Israel were black people. There's no doubt about that. We know that. We know that. But you also must understand that Israel's seed has been scattered among the nations. And you also must come and face the reality of truth that Yahweh did say that my people are as a speckled bird. He says it in the book, right? Now, when we really start to look up now, that seed, that power that goes to that genetic, that DNA, is like water in a cup. You put the water in the cup, the whole cup get wet. You can drink water out the cup. Now, the sides of the cup is wet, but eventually it's going to dry up. But then you leave drops in here and there, it's going to have more weight, more water to it than others. Same thing with the DNA. It be scattered throughout the face of the earth. You look up, you see a man in this part of the world in Australia. You look up somebody over there in Africa. You look up somebody in South America. You look up somebody coming to the knowledge of Israel. You say, he don't look like no Israelite. This, that. The seed and the bloodline has been mingled all throughout the face of the earth. Yah said he's going to make him a number that cannot be numbered as the sand of the sea. We do know that the originals, we know how they left. We must understand that Yah does whatsoever he pleases. But the most important aspect of it all is when we all wake up and start realizing that we are all required to keep what's in this book. That's when we become Yisrael. Sure enough, right now, Yisrael don't know the power. They're arguing with the world on the racial aspect or dynamic of it. I don't even try to touch on that anymore because it's a complete waste of time now, if you think about it. Everybody's arguing about this, that, and other. Man, y'all says, I will send my word to the Gentiles and that they will hear it. Who printing the books up now? Who made your book? Who printed mine? But all of us running around corners, all these robes and different things. Let me not say that. But anyway, we out on the corners, ain't printed up a single book. Ain't restored nothing to the word. Ain't added nothing of any value to the knowledge and understanding of the people. We just on the corner in road, fussing and cussing at the people. Same message. Everywhere you go in every city, all of them got the same message. Now, I'm going to be bold and say this. Some of them brothers, I don't think they real. I'm straight out the gate. Some of them, I don't think they real. Some of them, I literally think are government plans. And the reason why I say that, because see, when you start going after the children of Israel and doing all the stuff that you need to do to them, you need people acting up, cutting up so that you can label them. Last week, Granny was on the news. Granny was on. Jeff Sessions was on the news and testified. Said that the black identity movements are going to start killing police officers. Now, let's be honest. Look, people all across the country, black folks scared to death to kill anything. They ain't going to do it. They kill only each other, okay? Y'all, I'll leave it for y'all's sake. Anyway, they ain't plotting no mass murders and killings and nothing like that. Then next thing you know, brothers get murdered, police being killed. Now, brother from Baltimore, worked with the DC Police Department, he got murdered. His life is just as valuable as the brother around his life. Just as valuable as the sisters over there. This, that, no. Then they ain't saying no more about that. Then the other brother get murdered. Now they talking about that. The reward is up now. Last time I checked this morning, $215,000. It's a lot of money to offer. But you want to blame all this stuff on poor black people. But other crimes being committed by black people in suits and $5,000 dresses and ties, and there ain't nobody addressing that. You hear what I'm saying? The cities are being stolen all across America, and they're voting black and brown and yellow Democrats, what have you, and you're still dying under the same construct. Something is wrong. You mean to tell me nobody's born that can get in office and just say, I want to do justice and I'm going to do it? You mean everybody gets voted in office, go in and change and turn on the people? We have no power with Yahweh today. Yahweh says in his word, he sets up kings and takes them down. What, he ain't got power to reach a mayor? He ain't got power to reach a city council president? Yahweh sets the rulers up as he pleases and takes them down. Right now, our primary concern should be on Yahweh's Torah and how we can implement this in our lives and get back to the power of Yahweh. Our forefathers were not playing. Anytime a man can sit down and talk with the angel of death, say, hey, I ain't following you. I'll send him back, say, put on your beauty and talk with him. See if you can get him to just touch your hand. If he touch your hand, take him. Come on. That's how he had to do. Come on, that kind of power. And that's what Yahweh wants to give unto Yisrael. Are y'all listening to me today? That's what Yahweh, he has power and he wants to give even more power unto Yisrael. He says unto us that not only are we going to serve with him as heirs, but it says joint heirs. He's sharing the power with. He said, make you joint heir. Yeshua himself said, is it not written in the Torah that ye are Elohim? They around saying it right now. We are. Well, they say, we are gods. Yeah, that's your problem. Gods with no power. Come on, man. You better off with a dog. He gonna do two things. He gonna eat and bark. Well, three. You gonna do fourth. You gonna get it up. But anyway. That's true. You gonna get it up. I don't like no dog. I don't want no dog. No. My daughter had a dog. They were happy to get the dog. I said, all right, as long as you clean up behind me. Yeah, that lasted 2 weeks. So I said, no, I don't like this. I ain't cleaning up behind you. I'll clean up behind the baby. I ain't cleaning behind you. I'm guaranteed one thing about that baby. That baby gonna grow up, and that's gonna stop. With that dog, please. Anyway. So Yahweh's people have to look for the beauty of Yah's word and see what he says here. I'm gonna take my time with this. Leviticus 26. Let's look at this real quick here. Yah warns Israel that there would be punishment for disobedience. Now we have power with Yahweh. We would have never gone into captivity had we continued to obey. Can you imagine the beauty of this earth had Israel never transgressed? Could you imagine what would be in the earth right now? What would be taking place had we never transgressed? But it was already in our DNA, so it was going to happen, right? Leviticus 26:14. But if you will not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments, and if you shall despise my statutes, and if your soul abhor my judgment, so that you will not do all my commandments, but that you break my covenant, I will also do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, the burning age, that shall consume the eyes. Then do we not suffer from glaucoma and eye diseases like that today more than any other culture and national? See, sometimes some things stick out to identify Yisrael, okay? It shall cause sorrow of heart. Now, that's a big thing going on in our communities. Depression and all this stuff. Abilify. I never forget the commercials for Abilify. You take this pill for your sorrow and your depression. No, you take that for your sleeplessness. To cure one symptom, only to have 11 others emerge in the place of it. So now I have suicidal thoughts and tendency, maybe homicidal, I may cause drowsiness, kidney trouble, heart failure, stroke, this, that, and other, blah, blah, blah. Wait a minute. I was all right just being depressed. At least if I pray to Yahweh, he can relieve the depression. But now you done gave me a pill that suppresses the depression because now I'm homicidal. So now I'm hurting somebody that was happy. We ain't thinking. Tell me the curses of the book are not upon us because we are powerless as a people. We don't want to see this. So he says, and you shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. You tell me that ain't happening to us, man. Come on, man. You go back and read. There's a book. Go get this book called Slavery by Another Name. It talks about how you were re-enslaved after slavery, from the emancipation to World War II. Go read it and check up on how they did what they did to you. Everything from sharecropping and Jim Crow, all this different stuff was designed to put you back in captivity in some of the most sophisticated ways. And now they've done it again in modern day court systems through court costs and fees and penalties and all this stuff. There's debtors prison, all kind of stuff. Collection agencies now have power to subpoena people to court and have you jailed. This is the type of world we live in now. So we don't pay attention to these things, but it's in the book. And I will set my face against you, and you shall be slain before your enemies. Is that not what's happening to us today? They that hate you shall reign over you. Now that's a good point to stop and just say, hey, everybody, let's just look around. Tell me the people that don't rule us don't hate us. They hate you. All nationalities hate us, truth be told. Everybody. They don't even have to know nothing about just hate you. Everybody. Just hate you for no reason. Now, while I'm at it, I'll say this real quick. An intense study of that hatred traces itself back all the way to Yahweh. Because when they hate Israel, they're saying that they hate Yahweh. Yahweh chose Israel as his chosen nation, and they have to obey him. So when the nations hate them, technically they hate themselves because, see, they come through you. You didn't come through them. They're hating you and hate you so bad because Abba Yahweh chose you, obviously, over them, which now creates a level of jealousy. This is a sibling rivalry. You hate Yahweh. If you're going to go after those that he loved the most, look, his obedient angels wouldn't even take his messengers because they knew he loved them so much. They were careful how they caused their death. And you mean to tell me you, the nations, you have more authority than his angels? Come on, we just read how the angels had to go back to Yahweh. Yahweh, listen, yeah, I couldn't take it. He is counted as your friend. I couldn't take it. So, not mine. I'm a Korean grocer. I'll take him. Put that nickel on the counter if I keep. Pow. You're done. Right? Hold still. Stop resisting. You still as you are. Boop. Come on. Go to jail. Get over here. Did you pay that court cost? Lock him up. We're not paying attention. He says, and if you will not yet for all this hearken unto me, I will punish you 7 times more for your sins. And I will break, listen to what he says, I will break the pride of your power. Is it not what y'all broke today? The pride of our power? Come on, man. Look at our brothers today, man. They don't even know how to treat their women and their children, man. They don't even have jobs. They won't do anything now. The power of their pride has been broken, man. She got to get up, go to work. He want to lay home, smoke blunts all day long. She come in, you ain't even burnt 2 French fries. Just this is the way it goes now. And I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass, and your strength, listen to it again, shall be spent in vain. For your land shall not yield to increase, neither shall the trees of the land yield their fruits. And if you walk contrary unto me, and will not hearken unto me, I will bring 7 times more plagues upon you, according to your sins. You can't get our people to see things like this. We will not believe. He says, so I'll multiply that. So now we got people studying every aspect of life. You now can create brand new industries out of problems that have been created because of sin. There are jobs now that exist that never exist before. I mean, some of them exist. I don't even know the title for it. What is the title? As blunt as this is, I'm just gonna say it. What's the position of the person that does? Okay, I know the position. Urine intake analyst. Think about that. I mean, listen, y'all. Forgive me. I got another way to say it. I need to say it in language everybody understand it. Somebody gets paid to watch a person piss in a cup and take it in the back room and check it for drugs. That's a job. That's a position that didn't even exist 100 years ago. Think about it. It's a job that didn't even exist 100 years ago. You get paid just for that. Pissologist. Is that what it is? Now, we're going to talk right after lunch. Seriously, we're going to talk. Because see, now that raised some questions in my mind. Anyway, pissologist. I'm going to look it up because chances are it's probably legit. This is America, man. This is the way it works, man. Little things that just, there are police for everything. There are secretaries for everything. There's an app for everything. So man, I just can't think at night. You got a phone? Yeah, there's this app. Download this app. So what does it do? It puts you to sleep at night. Really? You download the app. What is it? Some big hammer jump out the phone? Boop. Oh. There's an app for everything. There's a prayer for everything. We don't try that. We will not try that. That's why we have no power today with Yahweh. No power. I'm looking at my notes here. Let me read this. Listen to this note. Note to self. Jacob, after an intense self-examination that led to enormous spiritual growth, then comes to realize that he can indeed overcome without having to cheat anyone, especially those who are close to him. Ha! No more supplanter. Isn't that beautiful? Because that's what he went through that night. He went through a moment of self-actualization where he really talked to Yahweh. Yahweh came down. Let's reflect back. What are the chances of that? You preparing to appease your brother, you sending your family with these enormous gifts and everything. You said, well, go on, I'm gonna lay here and I'm gonna sleep. I'm coming on in behind you. You stay out there by yourself because you want to pray and meditate. What are the chances that a man just out there fiddling around too? Or, like the scripture shows us that it is, the Almighty says, let me go up here and get up on him, walk up on him. Show him that I am ever present with him. And he catch on in the middle of the night and realize what happened. And you ain't getting out of here till you bless me. We don't have that kind of understanding today. No wonder Yahweh won't dwell among Yisrael like that. We have segregated ourselves from him. Think about it. We have segregated ourselves from Yahweh. We don't want it. If Yahweh says do this, that, and other, keep my commandments and live. He ain't just talking to be 80. He's talking forever. Of course, because of the sin of man, death entered into the world. It came upon all men. He always told death, you go get dressed. You dress yourself like you were in the beginning of time, when in your days of youth. Isn't that something? When death wasn't around, when they wasn't dying. Come on, man. One thing I can honestly say, some people in life, we are so glad that they're not going to receive eternal life, just based upon the way that they don't believe Yahweh anyway. Think about that. The scientific community, they don't believe in Yahweh, and they go about the process of investigating everything about Yahweh and his creation, and yet they don't believe. You all are so wise, but yet you can't stop and start the heart at will. I'll give you just good example. Dave Rockefeller was your man. He ran the country for close to 75 years, did everything he wanted to do. He died in March, I believe, of this year. Go bring him back. Get him up. You gave him 7 heart transplants. No, don't stop at 7. Bring him back. Go and get it. You growing steaks in a laboratory. You growing heart tissue and all this other stuff in laboratory. No, go grow him some lungs. Grow him some arteries. Grow him some flesh, blood. Bring him back. That's your man. He won your favor. Keep him around forever. But yet you all have to die. And yet you're a scientist. You know everything about everything. Don't say they didn't study. Don't say that Yahweh didn't allow them to have that knowledge. They have it. But come on, man. And then they don't even believe. And as if their unbelief is not enough, they take their unbelief and put it in textbooks and impose it upon the world. So now they make all of us not believe. You can't get your college degrees or none of that stuff unless you submit to being a non-believer. Now, let's be clear on this, because we slick enough to go in, believe in Yahweh. So, well, I just need a degree. I got to do that. In other words, don't y'all get mad, all right? Just everybody bear with me. You're in college, you just in college. We understand Yahweh's word. We understand stuff happening in the world. So then we just say, okay, now I understand it a little better. I can navigate it better. So we realize now there are 2 sets of notes. There's the notes of Abba Yahweh on the right-hand side. There's the notes of the world on the left-hand side. Then there is the world, dead center. So now we know that the world, dead center, ain't too receptive of these notes, but these are more important than these notes. So now we take these notes and pretend as we walk center path with the world that we're with them. Gotta be careful with even that, because eventually you're gonna have to let that go. But if we walk with Abba Yahweh like Abraham and all the others, then we won't mind that even when it is time to go. At least we can argue for points for extensions on our lives like Hezekiah did. Hezekiah wasn't ready to go, right or wrong. Oh, wait a minute, Abba Yahweh, please, whoa now. Listen, I did this and that. Yahweh added what, 15 years onto the brother's life? You tell me that ain't power with Yahweh. Even just 15 measly years, that's power. Come on, man. Pray for grandma. Pray for this. Pray for what? What are we asking for if we're not going to strive to do right by Abba Yahweh? My grandmother came to Yahweh in her older years. My father was preaching and teaching in the sacred name, and at the time, grandma was going to Shiloh Baptist Church here, one of the biggest churches in the city. My grandmother did something as a little child. Told y'all this. As a little child, I paid attention to this. Grandma went to assembly with us on Shabbat. She went to church Sunday morning. The next week, I was looking at her notes. I was nosy. Forgive me, but I was always looking at her notes. Harold Carter's preaching. My grandmother might have 2 scriptures, 3 scriptures wrote down. My father's scriptures, had a whole stack of stuff. So she would read and study and would do a comparative analysis. My family, I don't care if they look on the channel, see this. Some of my family members, my uncles and cousins and all, they got angry with her when she left that church to follow her son, who was preaching in what they would call storefront church. We ain't never called the Assemblies of Yahweh churches, and the Assemblies of Yahweh should learn to cut that out too. But the point being, they got angry when she left because they acted as if she left and or withdrew from salvation. They never came to understand. And you know what? She didn't care. Health problems dissipated. You think a person get up in their 80s and 90s, any health problems that they have, you think they ain't gonna do nothing but just compound and eventually take them away. Well, her health problems got better. Her asthma got better. Her high blood pressure came under control. All those things got better because she started to eat according to the dietary law. She started to believe according to the rules of the Torah. She started to live and started to teach it. And those pill bottles and all that stuff on the medicine table slowly but surely began to go away. It didn't happen overnight. She didn't just flip the table over. No more pills. I got it. No. It took time. He had to preach, he had to teach, she had to read, she had to study, she had to ask questions, and others, we all were there learning. This is what Yisrael must do today, man. See, come on, man. This is why a lot of times you can't teach us. We so busy. Israel right now, they so busy trying to teach the teachers. That's what they do. Everybody's a teacher today. Everybody knows something. You can say something. I was reading the comments on the channel a couple weeks ago, and this is funny. I hope the person, whoever said it, don't take offense, but it is true. I made a statement, and the person typed out there, no, you mean such a thing. As I was reading the comment, I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember when I preached that. And I'm thinking, no, I meant what I said. And I said what I meant. Don't correct me. We're going to correct ourselves, all of us, according to the rules and the correction of Abba Yahweh. You hear what I'm saying, Yisrael? This is how we have to do it. Sometimes the word of Yahweh will get bitter in order to save us. Some of the nastiest medicines you have to take in this lifetime. Sometimes the stuff do you good. Don't get me wrong. Let's not say the doctors ain't got stuff to help people sometimes. Sometimes the stuff nasty than the water down in the Potomac River. Well, it bring you out of it. You hear me? Sometimes it does. I can't talk too much on it. I don't believe in it. They get mad at me all the time. I'm sorry. I don't believe in you. I don't believe in your doctors. I don't believe in your scientists. I don't believe in your politicians. I don't believe in your preachers. I don't believe in none of them. And I try to limit my interactions with them as best I can. That's all I'm saying. Everybody can't do that. We have to come to a gradual process of growing in Abba Yahweh. That's how it is as a baby. You don't just come out the womb 32. She in labor, took so long, he had a birthday. No, you come out. That first day, that is your birthday, right? Now, girl, I was in labor with him so long, he came out, he was 3 years old. Doesn't happen like that, right? So then you grow. Same thing in school. You don't go through school and just accelerate and go through all the courses. They have a word for it. It's called graduate. You gradually accelerate. It's the same with Yahshua. This is why Yisrael can't learn. A lot of times people come to Yahweh and in a year's time, 1 year, in a year's time, boom, they got it. And you don't know nothing. I got it from here, take a back seat. I'm on top of things. No, we're wrong, man. We are wrong. As Yisrael, we just do not know. Let me do this. I want to show you all something. As I said, this message was Elder Johnson's initial message. I remember the Shabbat very well. I'm going to go back through some of the, this is funny. I'm going to go back through the cassettes. I was looking at them the other day. I had some old cassette tapes. Some of the sermons Elder Johnson was on. I and Minister Dawid, we were talking about the process and how we were going to transfer them from cassette to CD for people that might want to hear it. But I have one of them houses where it ain't that quiet, where you can do it like that. You need the 3 a.m., 4 a.m. time frame to do it. By then, I'm going to get up and go to work anyway. But what it is you just need that kind of time to have one running to record the other, to play it and get it done like that. Eventually, it'll have to be done. But the old man has some wonderful messages that was ahead of his time. And looking at things and laying it out in a way where some material we didn't even come across in life, the lost books and other things, though he had some of those in his possession, he didn't have all that we have today to really put the rest of the pieces of the puzzle together. Man, just imagine when Yahshua comes. The beauty of that kingdom age, when Yisrael will look at it and say, hey man, we should have done right by Abba Yahweh from the very beginning. Jeremiah chapter 5. Listen to this. This is how Yahweh deals with Israel, who has become so powerless, and why we have become powerless. Jeremiah 5:1. Listen to this. These are the words. Now he says, run ye to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem, and see now, and know, and seek in the broad places thereof, if you can find a man, if there be any that executeth judgment, and that seeketh truth, and I will pardon it. Israel? Anybody here today seeking judgment and truth? Anybody seeking it? Just waiting. I know now y'all a little slow saying it. I'm just checking. Y'all a little slow saying it. But I'm sorry. They said make sure it wasn't a trick question. Halloween done. I don't participate. There's no trick or treats here. Anyway. And though they say Yahweh liveth, surely they swear falsely. That's what the book said. This is verse 2, right? That's what people do. Yahweh lives. Hallelujah. Yahweh lives. Yeah, he said you're just talking. Oh, Yahweh, are not thine eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. That's us, ain't it? Thou hast consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. You can't tell our young men nothing today. They're in jail. They're in prison. They're incarcerated. They're dying in the gutter. You can't say, brothers, we have to change our ways. One thing happened this week here in Baltimore, even with the murder of a Baltimore City police officer. One thing happened. Forgive me, Israel, for watching. I watch things that other people don't watch. I've been in a fight for about the past 2 months with this group of people. It's about 200 of them. And we've been fighting, going back and forth. We don't like each other. They don't like me. I don't like them. The feeling is mutual. They come with these ceasefires. Stop the killing. Stop the killing. And I kept saying, how you going to stop killing one another if ain't nobody going to advocate the Torah? If you're not going to teach Yahweh's word, then all that stuff you're all saying is foolish. Stop the killing me. Stop it all across the board for everybody. And I was telling the sister earlier in the week, that's some sad news, man, when you hear people being shot down and murdered like that. Let's just be real. Humans dying like that for no reason when you shouldn't. That is painful. Anybody sit back today and laugh and giggle and gloat that the way that brother died down there at Bennett Place is something wrong? That's some sad stuff to go down. It hurts, okay? All the people with the stop the killing rallies, all the 300 gangsters, all the people that was giving me hell, you ain't heard a peep out of them this week. Now y'all quiet, notoriously quiet. When you should stand up against all violence like that, everybody was went away at the same time. Now I'm wondering, what's the hold up now? Y'all ain't gonna speak out on that? You ain't got nothing to say? See how people selectively do their righteousness? It's wrong, man. They ain't said nothing. It's wrong. And you ain't said nothing because you all are with that criminal malfeasance and the wickedness and the gang and all of the stupid stuff that's tearing the communities up. All them people out there pretending they trying to stop it. They all benefit from it. Think about this, Yisrael. How do I know they all benefit from it? Because if you keep the commandments of Yahweh, you can stop crime, killings, murders, robberies. All that stuff will stop overnight. And all these people with these newly emerged jobs that they have a job because there is a problem, suddenly they ain't got no more job. Think about what I'm saying. You ain't got no pissologist now if ain't nobody committing no crime. Ain't nobody got to go piss in no cup. Now his job is done. Ain't no bail bondsman now if ain't nobody committing no crime. You don't need to be bailing nobody out. Ain't no lawyer now if ain't nobody committing no crime. I don't need you representing me in no court. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So now all them people quiet because reality is they need crime going up so that they stay in job and stay employed. You tell me why we ain't got no power? Because we feed on wickedness and don't want nobody talking about. If I'm the only person in Baltimore City talking about this, so be it. Blessed be the name of Yahweh. I ain't afraid to say it. It needs to be said. Tell your young man, no, you got to do better than that. Young man worked with me. His mother called me the other day. Now, you know, now y'all know my sense of humor. I was messing with the brother. I said, really, man? Your mama? Your mama called me, man? He said, what'd she say? I said, really? She just was thanking me for pulling you off the street and getting you a job. Then he was shocked. He said, my mama said that, man? No, he says, quote, my mama said that, man? I said, yeah. She just really called and said, I just want to thank you for giving him a job. He really needs something to do. He came home. He talked about you so much. I feel like I know you already. And I just wanted to say thank you for giving him something to do. That was beautiful. And like I said, you know me, I had to mess with him. I have a sense of humor. So I messed with the young bro. I said, your mama called me, man. You that bad in the house? Your mama had to call me. I said, whatever you got doing, please keep him busy. I said, really, man? And he was like, go ahead, man. Hey. But it encouraged him. Because I put him on the scaffold and I had him doing something he had never done before. And he had a ball. And not only did he have a ball, but he learned how to do it. And I watched him and I realized that he's pretty good at that. So I'm going to keep you right there where you at. Because if you can master that, you can do this. If you can do that, you can do this. And at the end of the day, I said, come on, y'all, it's time to go. Let me get you uptown. He said, oh, man, we got to leave now. I said, yeah, get you home, man. I want your mother calling me. So then he had to laugh. He said, you something else. I said, no, we're going to obey Yahweh. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So yes, right, y'all, let me cut off on this portion right here. I know y'all want me to go a little deeper in it, but I'm not. You know why? Because we can't get it all in a day. Now, if y'all want to go home and wrestle with this till the breaking of the day, you have every right to do that. I'm a little tired. I'm a little hungry. This is Shabbat. Y'all says take that rest. I'm gonna take that rest. I'm gonna meet y'all on the other side in the dining facility. I'm gonna see what we have to eat. I'm going to barak the precious name of Almighty Yahweh for whatsoever it is. More so, I told y'all for all of you, for the kindness of what you've done, for your love and honor of Yahweh and His Son Yahshua, for your precious support here in the things that we do. We have some stuff that we want to do. I want to say to some of you that are listening by way of the live stream, you don't have to know when, but we're going to do that. Some things we want to put out for the word of Yah for the sake of benefiting, helping us to help others. As I said earlier, I'll say again, I pray that Yah would barak us in a way where we can be in a position to help others. And He did that. And sometimes He does it in a way where you look up and you don't even realize, hey, we can do that. And I found some old writings and things that my father had, some tracks that weren't published. And I was looking at it. I said, I'm going to edit that and put that out there. People need to see that. They need to read that. No adding anything to the word. Put the word together in a way and in a context that makes it so plain and simple that even our children will be willing to understand. I say to all of you, to the babies, from the youngest to the oldest. I mentioned the young brother last week, 10 years old, man, got his own channel, man. That's an honor. Now y'all see why I stay on you young brothers like that? To see you all sitting up looking straight in my face as I teach, that's an honor. To see somebody striving to learn it. I've been there. I was 10 years old. I know everything y'all going through. I was trying to get my sleep on and everything else. My father preaching, teach my little head be up against that wall. I'm thinking I'm getting a good nap in. In reality, that word going in. You wake up trying to remember, how do I remember this? Where I hear this from? Yeah, you're sitting up there sleeping. Should have been woke. Should have been learning. Old man didn't play it. He catch you, he wake you up, teach you, show you different things. Elder Jones, Elder Johnson, Elder Carson, Elder Schuler, Elder Seward, them little old men, man, they did the best that they could do. They labored in the word. They did that. We need more men like that today to just get together, no nonsense, put the word of Yahweh in its proper perspective, teach Yisrael, pull ourselves together as a nation. We need more of them elder mothers like Mother Jones, Mother Johnson, Mother Schuler. You need more of those women like that today that were not afraid or ashamed to say, baby, listen, don't close that blouse up, this, that, and other in the temple. Don't come out the house like that. Baby, don't come and have to pull the dress down. Come out the house with a longer one. Put it on. Close yourself. Cover yourself. They would teach things like that, man. And they would teach it in a way where people looked and realized, no, this is a no-nonsense walk. This is a no-nonsense way of life. And I told y'all that I am a part of it. That's how we should want to be. May Yah barak you all, both here and abroad. May the blessings of Yah never depart from your households. I pray that, in effect, as Ezra prayed for all of us, that Yah would be with us, and Yahweh told him, I'm going to do just that for everyone that you pray for. Just remember, our fathers prayed for us, that Yah would have mercy on us, and that as we have that mercy, we are able to stand and barak His precious name. That's what we want to do. It is an honor to see you. Some of y'all see for the first time. We're going to get to know one another. We're going to relax because we are just one family in Yahshua, and that's all that there is to it. May the blessings of Yah rest upon you. Yisrael, let's stand to our feet. Happy Shabbat unto you all. Abba Yahweh, we told you for the greatness and the kindness of this day, for the precious tender mercies that you have placed upon us. Many of us, Abba Yah, that have grown elderly and are old but are not tired in any way. We ask that you be with them, stand by them, protect them from all manner of hurt, harm, and danger. For the young, from the youngest in the houses, wherever we are scattered, to the oldest, please be with us. Abba Yahweh, we pray in Yahshua's name. Touch the children as they're in these schools and walking through these streets. Protect us, be with us. Have your protecting, healing, warring angels by our sides at all times. Let no hurt or harm come upon those of us that are working in our daily occupations, in the jobs, in our cars, wheresoever we may be. Touch us, wrap us with the power of your mighty presence. Give us a heart and mind that takes great joy and delight in your word, that as the assemblies of Yahweh are able to leap for joy like the angel leaped in, like the babe leaped in his mother's womb. Help us, Abba Yah, to rejoice in your word. Help us to shine forth as the brightness of the noonday sun, so that at the going down of thy sun and the rising of the same thereof, your name is great and worthy of all praise. Let the assembly say, praise Yahweh. Say, praise Yahweh. Let the words of our mouths and the meditations of our heart be acceptable and pleasing in thy sight, O Abba Yahweh, our strength and our Redeemer. Hallelujah. Happy Shabbat unto you all, Yisrael, and to those of you at home by way of the live stream. Love and honor to you all. Shalom, shalom.